Hmm? Hello. Hello. हेलो हेलो चालू आहे आपलं चालू आहे ना बोललं की वाढायला आला
This is Dr. Sanjeev Kumar. Just wanted to check if am I audible?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. I'm mute.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Sethi, ma'am.
Hello, Vimal.
Hello. Yeah. Aruna, ma'am.
Yes.
And good afternoon to each and every colleague who has
Good
joined.
afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I can see Dr. Rakhi. Yeah. And Dr. Shinde. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Am I audible? Myself, Principal Shinde.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome, please. You are audible. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for collaborating with us in this event. Thank you.
Do we have
good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Vimal. Do we have Usha Thorat here? I haven't heard her.
I'll just check, ma'am. Yeah, let's see. No, I don't think anyone with that name is joined.
So,
Maybe
Priya?
you can call
Priya?
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am.
Can you, who is that?
Yeah, Dr. Rakhi, good afternoon. nice to see you today. I think maybe we'll have to tell Priya to coordinate with Usha, ma'am.
Yeah, whoever is left out.
Is Anuj there? Anuj, please ask Priya to check up with, remind her, Mrs. Thoret.
And
Sure.
Dr. Digwal, principal from Government Mahila Engineering College.
Yes, ma'am, he is joining.
Acha, sir is joining. Okay.
Priya has contacted Mrs. Thorat.
Okay, good.
And I welcome my organizing team also, whoever are there, please can put your videos on. And all dear participants, colleagues,
Oh.
please, whoever wants, please put your videos on. Yeah, be nice
Yeah.
to.
So come on board, please.
We'll
Usha
start
will
in
come.
a couple
Usha
of minutes.
Thorat will join.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So may I proceed, ma'am? Because
Yeah,
Professor
I
Venkata
think
sir will be joining, yeah, slightly late. So
Huh.
we can call him after Usha ma'am and
Hmm.
I think Usha ma'am has joined.
Good.
I have joined.
Yeah. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry
you.
to have it in my.
Thank you. So, Josna ma'am, with your permission, may I start?
Please do. Please
Yeah.
do.
So let me just share my screen. I hope it is visible to all. So good
Yeah.
afternoon to one and all. A warm welcome on behalf of Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, Indian Cancer Society, Delhi School of Public Health, University of Delhi, and Vidyavani Foundation. In this 1 week National Online Faculty Development Program on Cancer Awareness. Starting from today, 21st August 2023, it will go on till 28th August 2023. But that's not all. We will tell you how the phase 2 will be a year-long process. And if some of your colleagues still want to join, the registration is open till night. We will be able to take them on board. So you can share the details. I personally welcome each one of you on behalf of Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, GAD-TLC, a center of Ministry of Education, Government of India, under the prestigious Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching Scheme. Situated at my own prestigious institution, Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, a constituent college of University of Delhi, I welcome you on behalf of my governing body of Khalsa College as well as University of Delhi. So let us all just join our hands to pray and take the blessings of the God. So I welcome each one of you with a virtual bouquet of flower. And my gratitude to even our seniors who are in absentia present with us. From core team of GAD-TLC, Padma Bhushan Trilochan Singh sir, who is chairman governing body SCTB Khalsa College. Professor Ved Prakash sir will be joining very soon. He is former chairman, University Grants Commission. Professor A.K. Bakshi sir, again, very senior member, chairperson at GAD-TLC. Professor Jaswinder Singh, he will be joining in valedictory. He is director GAD-TLC and principal STTB Khalsa College. I am Vimal Rar. I also welcome each member of the team Indian Cancer Society Delhi. Mrs. Josna Govil ma'am, Mrs. Renuka Prasad ma'am. We have Mrs. Aruna Umat ma'am, who is coordinating with me in this event, and many distinguished resource persons and the team from ICS, Dr. Inderjeet Sethi, my own colleague from Khalsa College, welcome ma'am. Mrs. Seema Bajaj, welcome. Mrs. Rita Bhalla, again from ICS, welcome dear. And Dr. Priya Parmar, whom again, all of us, we have been associated in designing this program, and I think we have improved upon the last year program as well. We are also collaborating with Delhi School of Public Health, University of Delhi. And at this juncture, I would like to put my gratitude to Professor Yogendra Singh, who is Director, Delhi School of Public Health, University of Delhi, and Professor Daman Suluja. Madam will be joining in the valedictory with us, and in between also she'll be there. She is Joint Director, Delhi School of Public Health, Chairperson, Research Council of Delhi University, and former Director, ACBR, Delhi University. So in absentia, I welcome on behalf of each of us to them, and from their behalf to all of you. And I'm also happy to welcome the team from Yashwant Mahavidyalaya, Nanded, Maharashtra. Dr. Ganesh Chandra Sinde sir, Principal, Yashwant Mahavidyalaya, Nanded, Maharashtra, and the organizing team of Professor M.A. Basir, Dr. Nilesh Chavan, Dr. Madan Ambor. I'm thankful first for taking this as a collaborative event and taking this effort, which is really a social cause, further in your state. And I also welcome Dr. J.K. Digwal, Principal, Government Mahila Engineering College, Ajmer, Rajasthan, who are again collaborating in this event with their very distinguished team again, Dr. Rakhi, whom I am interacting from, I think, last 2 or more than that from the virtual events, Dr. Rakhi Khandelwal, Dr. Shikha Janwar, Dr. Meghna Kumawat, and Dr. Shelja Tiwari. So welcome to each one of them, and thanks for taking this in their state as well. And at my GAD-TLC, again, this is a national level team that we have formed, and we keep on shuffling between different events because multiple events are going. So in this particular FDP, my co-coordinator will be Professor Sarita Pasi from Zakir Hussain College, Delhi University. And we'll also have Dr. Arun Julka from Maharaja Agrawal College, Professor Geetu Gambhir from Acharya Nandev College, Dr. Narendrajit Kaur from Kanya Mahavidyalaya Jalandhar, Dr. Anita Garg Mangla, and Dr. Meenakshi Sharma from Daulat Ram College. She'll be representing GAD-TLC as well as Delhi School of Public Health. So welcome to all of them, and I'm looking forward to their cooperation further. GAD-TLC, as I told you, we have a state-of-art infrastructure and training facility, and that's what we have now expertise, starting from e-content development into MOOCs, and we have completed more than 50 MOOCs for SWAYAM platform, and more than now 5,000 modules in 4-quadrant format for the higher education faculty. The center was inaugurated in July 2016 by the then Honorable HRD Minister, Smriti Zubin Irani ji. And since then, we have been conducting, and there are now various shapes which have been given to these programs: seminars, webinars, workshops, conferences, faculty development programs of 1 week and 2 week duration, leadership development program, faculty induction program, which is a 1 month and compulsory for every new inductee in higher education. And all these programs the teachers can use for their promotional requirements. And also the teachers across the country are working for development of open educational resources in the form of Teachers E-Kit. And since 2016, I'm happy to share the number. We have touched almost 84,000 teachers now. And we are continuing our efforts every day. So this particular FDP is adding to that, and I'm thankful to the entire organizing team, especially the ICS Delhi branch, who have conceptualized and are taking it further. I am happy to share all of you a new development, which is that the GAD-TLC has been selected as one of the 44 out of 100 earlier PMMT centers to be awarded Malviya Mission Centers. And these Malviya Mission Centers will be having mandate to conduct national education policy training for 15 lakh higher education teachers. So the target is in the coming 2-3 years, each and every teacher, irrespective whether they are assistant professor or associate or professor, they will have to undergo this training so that all academicians are understanding this NEP and then are able to better implement. And the journey with ICS is very special for GAD-TLC and especially me personally, because our journey started by making this collaborative e-learning course, which is available on SWAYAM platform, and it is a self-paced course. Anyone can join. You all please tell your students and colleagues also, and everyone in the family member, because this is for everyone. So here, more than, this is a old statistics now, more than 10,000 learners across the country are enrolled and they have completed it. It is ongoing process. And this is quite a, I'll say, a program where we are satisfied in terms of contribution of the quality of the program as well as the reach it has across the country. And it is not only in English medium. I'm happy to share that many modules here are in Hindi medium, and recently we have added the Punjabi medium modules also. I'm looking forward to that. Yes, if we can have more and more languages, and the way we are reaching, I'm sure we will be able to have resources who can provide us help in that multilingual conversion. So welcome everyone on this FDP on cancer awareness. And here there are two phases before I hand over to Professor Jyotsna Govil ma'am. So phase one, it is like a routine FDP, which is for the teachers only. They will be completing this particular theme. All the sessions will be there. There will be projects, assignments, and quizzes. And this completion, now these teachers will have provision, and only these teachers. This scheme of phase two is not open for anyone else. So this can be completed by April 2024. And what is this phase two? There are two choices. Either the students of these teachers who will complete can offer add-on certificate of 30 hours duration to a group of 10 to 50 students. So this can happen in their institution, and the certification will happen via GAD-TLC. The other thing is that if they don't want to go into this group, if the students are they are not wanting the add-on course, but they will have the option of internship certificate. So a teacher who has completed the phase one will now be able to act as mentor along with his or her 5 to 15 students as a group, and they will be completing the requirements. And all the video sessions, they will be available on the My Class portal. And there will be full hand holding that how the students will be enrolled, what activities. So in this FDP, the last day will be focusing on how the phase two will be completed and how they can do the further process. So with this background, I now will be inviting Mrs. Jyotsna Govil ma'am, Chairperson of Indian Cancer Society, Delhi. And before I call upon her, I am happy to share very briefly. Actually, she is stalwart in this area and doing so much. But then very briefly, I will like to mention that Mrs. Jyotsna Govil has worked as volunteer with the Indian Cancer Society since 1985. She was also the Honorary Secretary of Indian Cancer Society Delhi branch. She is the founder member of Indraprasth Cancer Society and former Honorary Secretary and Vice Chairman of Indraprasth Cancer Society, parent of Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute and Research Center, New Delhi. Mrs. Govil is also the member of Review Board and Ethics Committee from more than 12 years at Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute and Research Center. She is the founder member of the APEC HPV consultation. She represents India on the board, and other countries which include in this are Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan, Korea, Hong Kong, and Australia. She was honored with Lifetime Achievement Award for long years of dedication to cancer control in 2014. In 2013, she received WHO Regional Director's Appreciation for contribution to public education on hazards of tobacco use. An alumnus of UICC and ACSU, she has presented papers at various international and national conferences in the theme, and she has been selected as one of the 500 of the world's cancer leaders in August 2009 at the Livestrong conference in Dublin. It's really my honor and pleasure, ma'am, to invite you, and please introduce our other distinguished invitees today. And from your behalf, and then later on, I will take the part of introduction of two eminent academician principals who have joined with us, and obviously Professor Ved Prakash sir. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Vimal. I think, firstly, I want to welcome all the faculty members who have joined us for this cancer awareness course. When I left the office this afternoon, the number was 104. And I had a call a little while ago to say that the forms are pouring in. So there will be very many more than the 104 that I signed in this afternoon. So welcome all. And I hope that you find our course very interesting. And
it's more than 150. Sorry to interrupt.
It's 150 now. Excellent. That's wonderful. So I'm happy to welcome everyone there. And I just want you to understand that this might be, just might be, and I hope it is not necessarily so, the most important course that you'll ever do in your lives. Because if cancer comes into your life or your family's life, you will have a little bit of understanding about what we work for year in and year out at the Indian Cancer Society. Now, our society was founded in 1951 in Mumbai by a very eminent surgeon called Dr. D.J. Jasawala from the Tata Memorial Hospital. I remember him telling me that we need people like you because I can keep on cutting up people, taking out the cancer or whatever, but unless you people come in there and make sure that people understand the importance of prevention and of screening, that our work will always be incomplete. So please, each one of you, I hope you understand your role as well as we take you through the course. Indian Cancer Society, Delhi, I see my colleague Usha Thorat on the screen. I will be introducing you, Usha, in a more elaborate fashion in a moment. But in the meanwhile, I want to say that ICS Delhi is a group of volunteers. Every person whom you see as a teacher on this course is a volunteer. They have given years of their lives to training, to learning, to going into hospitals, to going into bastis and community areas to talk about cancer. Each one of them has made it their life's mission to try and fight cancer in every way that we can. As Vimal told you, I think it was early 2020, the pandemic gave us a new opportunity for learning and for doing, because until then we were not so net savvy. We didn't know how to use the internet to get our message as a voice multiplier. And thanks to you, Vimal, and thanks to your team, we learned how to do that with the course on cancer fundamentals, which is on the Swayam platform. Everything that we do is for free or for a minuscule amount of money to keep our organization running. Vimal, we have today 18,404 people who have taken the course on cancer fundamentals across the country. And this number has come from every state of the union. It makes me very happy when I see a form which says Nagaland or Jammu and Kashmir or Kerala or Tamil Nadu or the Andaman Islands, because I'm happy that our small group of women have had an impact right across the country. The number of people who took the examination to become speakers and awareness trainers is obviously much smaller, but it is growing, and I hope that gradually it will become a force to reckon with. Vimal has given you an overview of what we are about to do in this program, so I will not repeat everything that she has said, and only to add that it's always been a pleasure to work with her and her team and Principal Jaswinder Singh, whom we will welcome at the valedictory. So we have learned so much from them on how to use the net satisfactorily. And I hope that you too are going to benefit from their knowledge. I'd like to introduce my team, please, if I may. Anuj, can I have is there a PPT for me?
I will share that.
Please, if you can.
So first you want to with the
Yes, I'll start with Usha because
Sure,
she's
okay.
our big boss.
yes,
She
right.
is the managing trustee of the Indian Cancer Society right across the nation. She has made the move from being a banker to coming and running the Indian Cancer Society. She was the deputy governor of the Reserve Bank from November 2005 to November 2010. She has been also an executive director of RBI. She was, as deputy governor, she was responsible for the Department of Currency
You can skip
Management.
all this because this is also changed a lot, so I think you can just skip this.
This is what you have done in your earlier.
That's true, but
yeah. Okay. And thank you. So, but she has done, as you see, a plethora of jobs right across the spectrum, and she understands very well what the social sector is about. I think before she became the managing trustee, her most important role was to take charge of the Cancer Cure Fund of Indian Cancer Society from running it from Bombay, where patients are supported with financial assistance to see them through their treatment. Each of the branches has a smaller role to play in their own account, but Usha has really done an amazing job of how we run the assistance for cancer patients. We don't treat them ourselves, but we work on awareness, as you're seeing, on prevention, on medical assistance, on emotional support, and you're going to be doing these courses, and on rehabilitation after cancer. As we are fond of saying, cancer does not begin in a hospital and does not end in it. So we cover as much of that 360-degree spectrum as we are able to. Can I have the next slide, please? Dr. Sanjeev Kumar is a very busy man. He's a member of our managing committee, which for me is the most important role that he has played. And he has been the chair of the Indian Alliance of Patient Groups. He has such a long CV that I'm not even going to attempt to read it, otherwise we'll be here all evening. Sanjeev, welcome to this FDP, and we are looking forward to hearing your pearls of wisdom, because you have so many things to your profile that it's really breathtaking. The next slide, please. I'll leave Vimal to introduce Professor Ved Prakash in a little while. Next slide. Next slide.
I think I have only two. Yeah.
Only these? Okay.
Yeah. So rest I will do the honor for Professor Ved Prakash sir and our two distinguished principals whom with we are collaborating.
Vimal, can I introduce the trainers first, and then I'll
Yes,
leave you.
ma'am. Yeah. I'll give you the slide where we have all these trainers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll start with Aruna Ummat, who's on my screen to the far right. She used to be a principal of some of the Delhi public schools in Delhi, and she's worked on their governing body. She has been with us for a long time, 10 years now, Aruna, probably more. And we've tasked her with undertaking all the training programs that we do for the Indian Cancer Society. That includes training of courses like this, and also training of our new volunteers who come in and join us. The next is Dr. Rekha Gulabani. Do you have her picture there? You will meet her today, I think. And Rekha is herself a survivor. She's passionate about breast cancer services for people in the who come to us, and on advanced breast cancer, which she understands extremely well. Rekha was also a teacher. She's got MScs in mathematics and various other subjects. Please forgive me, I'm unable to read because I have a damage in my eye. So I'm talking to you from the top of my head. And the next one after that, I'd like to introduce is Rita Bhalla, who's, I don't have a pointer, but she's here. She's in the second row, last from the, can you put a pointer on this, on Rita?
We can see.
Yes, so Rita has been with different support groups. She started as being an army wife by working in the Army R&R hospital, offering emotional support. She is a survivor also, and she has a huge amount of information which she puts to very good use on our behalf. Mrs. Seema Bajaj in the black here is not a survivor, but she has known the grief of losing a loved one, and she is well able to empathize with patients in the hospital. She's going to be talking to you on day 4 on the emotional support module, when we shift from the basic facts about cancer to the most important fact of all, which is that cancer affects people, and we will talk about people there. Inderjit Sethi in the pink is, as Vimal said, alumnus of the Guru Tegh Bahadur College. We were so lucky when she joined ICS because she introduced us to Vimal and to the group over there, and we haven't looked back since as far as awareness goes. To the right, in the red outfit, is Dr. Priya Parmar. I don't know whether you'll see her today because she's contracted eye flu, and she tells me she has a lovely pink eye. So we'll give her a little time. Mercifully, this is a online course, so there's no danger of her passing it on to any of us. Right in the center up top is Renuka Prasad, who's our honorary secretary. She too is a teacher. She too is a survivor. And so she will be there to more or less sum things up for us on the last day when she talks about other non-communicable diseases close to cancer and to universal health care. We have 2 people whose pictures are missing on this. I'm very sorry, we'll make up for it. One is Indra Jasuja. She's our oldest volunteer in the group. She's 86 and she has the energy and the vim of, I think, an 18-year-old. She certainly keeps all of us on our toes. She is, again, a counselor and will talk to you all about what emotional support is, how patients can be cared for as a whole, that as a family, rather than just talking about disease, which is what doctors do. The final person there, whom have I missed out? I can't remember. I think there was one more and I'm missing out on them. So if I've done
Aruna,
that,
ma'am, you can maybe.
No,
remind?
that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
I think all the trainers you have introduced. Yeah.
oh, that's fantastic. I think I should pat myself on the back. Thank you. So that is it. And I'll now hand you back to Vimal, who will introduce you to Dr. Ved Prakash.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And although sir is not joined, but let me just briefly, although he needs no introduction in academic world, he's a well-known figure. But then, yes, very briefly, I'd like to mention that he is a distinguished name in Indian academia and has the unique distinction of spearheading University Grants Commission, the apex regulator of higher education, as its chairman, vice chairman, and secretary for 15 long years. Under his stewardship, UGC made significant strides in the areas of curricular reforms, internationalization, basic scientific research, skill education, gender and social equality, equity in higher education, to name a few. And he has to his credit the transformation of NIPA into a university, where he served as its founder, vice chancellor. And in his stellar career of more than 45 years, he has made seminal contribution as advisor education and planning commission of India, chairman National Council of Teacher Education, DME, NCRT, has been joint director staff selection commission, Government of India. A US Fulbright scholar, Professor Ved Prakash sir, has been a visiting faculty at University of Windsor, Canada, a guest faculty, HIID, Harvard University, and consultant to World Bank. And with a variety of, I think, national, international, obviously he has published extensively and he has been conferred many coveted awards. And especially, I like to mention his contribution. He is also the chairman with Vidyavani Foundation, where he has been supporting the My Class Academy, where we can provide the training programs to the teachers, and teachers can also use this facility almost at again, this is again a voluntary activity in the field of education. As a team, we are helping, sir. I'm also grateful to Dr. Ganesh Shinde, sir, Principal Yeshwant Mahavidyalaya, and very briefly I will like to introduce, he is also former Pro VC SRTM University, Nanded, Maharashtra. Dr. Shinde is, as I told you, is presently the principal of this esteemed institution. He has a teaching experience of more than 35 years and administrative experience of around 18 years. Dr. Shinde has various research projects completed under his guidance, and he has published and presented more than 150 publications in national, international journals and conferences. And he has 2 patents in his credit. He has been awarded with several awards: Ideal State Teacher Award, Government of Maharashtra, Mumbai, Best Principal Award, Best College Award, to name a few. So welcome, sir, and we look forward for your contributions in this. I will also like to introduce Dr. J.K. Digwal, sir, Principal, Government Mahila Engineering College, Ajmer, Rajasthan. Welcome, sir. And he is an associate professor of Department of Electronic Instrumentation and Control Engineering at Government Engineering College, Ajmer, Rajasthan. He is working as principal in this institution since March 2019. He has served as Deputy Director, Center of Electronic Governance, Jaipur, Program in charge of IGNOU CEG Jaipur, Chief Coordinator of Aspire Project under Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Government of India, Nodal Offices of State Project, HOD, EI and CE, Information Technology Department, to name a few. And he's author, co-author of many publications, more than 50 plus research and various national and international conferences contribution. He is the potential reviewer of various international journals and conferences, and his current areas of research include design and application of UWB antennas, circularly polarized printed antennas, reconfigurable antennas, etc., to name a few. So thank you, sir, for collaborating with us, and we look forward for your contribution. So with these, now I think, ma'am,
Can we invite Mrs. Thorat to
Thorat,
start
yeah, ma'am,
proceeding?
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, welcome, and please, we are looking forward to your words of wisdom.
Usha, thank you. We have received your short CV, but as I told you, I'm unable to read
No,
still.
that was not intended for this.
So we
Okay,
will.
so I just like to introduce myself as an alumni of Delhi University.
Yeah, please.
I was there in Lady Shri Ram College, and then I was in Delhi School of Economics. So I'm quite familiar with Delhi. That Delhi is where I really feel, I mean, I feel like a student when I go there. And I've really left Delhi after that, but go there very, very occasionally. But I think I received one of the best educations I could, get in India at that point of time. And it was very clear that after my postgraduate degree, I didn't, I mean, although academics was very attractive, I just felt I must understand a little bit more of real life, because in economics and, you are really learning, and I was in Delhi school as a student of MA economics, and you really are, you feel everything what you hear, read, study is secondhand. You really feel I must get a grip on real life. And that is really important for me. And maybe one can, do one's PhD or whatever it is after years of service. But that after years of service never happened. So I just continued working till I served 38 years in the Reserve Bank. But I think what I learned there was something amazing. And I think why I'm saying all this is because I think this particular faculty development program and the whole objective under the new education policy is very, very important, critical, and very impressive. I've just been reading the goals of that program for community engagement, in high, just fostering social responsibility and community engagement. I really feel that this is really what we should have also had when we were studying. And the goals are really so impressive. So I feel that every word of it is ringing true to me. Bridging the gap between theory and practice. And I always felt that studying economics, there must be some way of relating your theory to practice. And a subject with economics which deals with people's lives and livelihoods. Second, interaction with real life local communities to problem solve. We're all the time sitting and solving problems in a classroom, but we don't really get down to real problems and see how your theory can help you solve that real problem. Learning from local wisdom, such an important thing. When you find it all over the place, you find all kinds of things. Ye khane se aapko sugar ke liye acha rahega, ye khane se khasi. So therefore there is a lot of local wisdom out there, and we never know. We think that we know, we have all the knowledge in the world, but we really don't. So I think that is another tremendous learning. And this I felt was very interesting. After being immersed in this kind of thing, how does the teachers and the students help make the curricula more relevant? Even contribution to curriculum change. Inculcating the value of public service. It is again so, and what I think the whole objective of inculcating the value of public service is really through actually experiences problems with communities, and then being able to put your thinking hat on and using your learning to make a difference. And that to making a difference is when I look at all those teachers who have enrolled and registered for this faculty development program. I would request each one of you to really become an ambassador for Indian Cancer Society. And why I'm saying, it's not that we want Indian Cancer Society all, fame and all that. Why I'm saying that, so that each one of you becomes an ambassador for making people stay ahead of cancer, and really become aware of how to prevent cancer, how to minimize its incidence when it happens. And that is something that I want as a big takeaway from this faculty development program. This will also help you and your students understand what the diagnosis, and many of us have had people in the family. We ourselves are so many survivors here you've seen from ICS Delhi. But there are so many other people who have had some tragedy in their homes. They all feel, if only we had known about it earlier. So I think this is a very, very important program for the Indian Cancer Society. And I'm so thrilled that Delhi branch of Indian Cancer Society has taken this initiative, which is so worthwhile. And when Jyotsna mentioned it in the National Managing Committee last week in Bombay, we felt that all branches of Indian Cancer Society should actually organize such programs in their centers. No doubt you have pan-India participation, but we would just really like to make it become a force multiplier and help in our own ways how we can help people stay ahead of cancer. And that to me is the real value. And I also feel the program is designed in a very unique way. No doubt many of you who have registered today, and if there are 150 people who are really going to take this program, and that will be more than what was achieved last year, which itself was phenomenal. I would imagine that quite many more of you should go and complete the second part of the program, which is really the community engagement. The community engagement and the project to really do problem solving at the local level. And it would be wonderful if teachers, each one of you, can, with a group of students, make them spread this whole understanding of cancer. And it is a very simple, I'm sure, the program that Delhi has put together, it can be communicated in so many different ways. So the commonest thing is busting all the myths about cancer. And what we have also understood is when you go into films nowadays, you might see something very, very horrible film on tobacco and all those horrible images of the mouth and awful things. So you don't even feel like seeing the screen. Now we realize people are not going to even try and understand if we are going to frighten them with such images. We have to tell people that this is something which is treatable. It can be, if you detect it early, the chances of survival are very high. The quality of life after getting cancer can be as normal as anybody else. Busting all the myths about cancer. Cancer does not mean death. This is the way, you can, and I find Delhi has taken lots of trouble. The commerce part of it is brought into the economics of cancer financing, showing all the options available. There is an environmental part to see what are the kind of food items that one eats. It could be carcinogenous. So what could be cancerous? What kind of lifestyle should one have to really be away from cancer? Minimize the risk factors. Of course, the biggest message being the no tobacco campaign. So I think there is a lot on this program, which 150 of you, when you take it at the end of it, I really hope, like I said, you, for no other reason except to protect your own families, your own loved ones, make everybody conscious of the need to be, how to stay 2 steps ahead of cancer, and why not just get screened for all the simple cancers so that you can be quite assured that, you are definitely going to be on top of it. Again, completely rise above it and not anywhere get caught into it. And that's all I really have to say today. Congratulations to Vimal, made such a superb job of the introduction. I'm really impressed with the variety of people you've been able to get together. And I think the spirit of the new education policy can be seen in this particular program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your kind words. And I think you have beautifully covered both the aspect that the needs from higher education, as you rightly belong to, and then where you are really taking it further in the cancer theme, which is touching each of us. So in this program, the phase 2 is going to be really important because that's where the impact can be seen at the national level, where every teacher through the 50 students as a group for learning more about this, or when you have the internship program where really they'll be going into the society. And ma'am, I'm happy to share the type of projects we have done for the phase 2 also is like they will be really doing the survey, talking to them, writing reports. So all that will be documented in the virtual way. And throughout the year, it's not that the teachers will be left as mentors. No, the ICS team and we will be ensuring that there's no problem in terms of, and they will be also conducting one seminar or webinar in their institution where again more 200 or 300 teachers will be joining. That's what happened the last year also, that we could really make it as a multiplier effect. So thank you so much, ma'am, and we are looking forward for your guidance further as well. And Josna Govil, ma'am, you're there, or this? May I now request Professor Sanjeev Kaur, and meanwhile, I think Professor Ved Prakash sir has joined, or he was about to. Sarita, can you help me? Sir, you are there? Professor Sanjeev Kumar, sir, may I request you to please, sir, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, please. Welcome.
Thank you, Professor Vimal Rath and the organizing committee for putting together so many people, and Jyotna Soke and our team at the Indian Cancer Society Delhi branch must be feeling very happy today. Their hard work of many months is seeing the light of the day. I look at this session as a life skill session. Normally, when you do courses, you do academic courses, and even as a medical doctor, most of what was taught to me in the classroom, maybe 90% of that I never used. So what you will learn in this faculty development program, you will start using it immediately, even before the course is completed. And that is very important for us to understand. And I will, having been in the field of public health for 52 years, and having gone around more than 30 countries for my work in the UN, I will be telling you more stories than factual information. You know, teachers are the first role models of every student. I took up preventive and social medicine, public health, because one of the teachers was my role model. And when we wanted to bunk the classes, he would come to the hostel, pull us out from our hostels, take us to the classroom, take us to the field visits to look after the families we were assigned at All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi. So this person left the institution. He took early retirement from All India Institute of Medical Sciences to go and serve the community in Kerala. But that gentleman, Professor George Joseph, is my role model. So I'm sure each one of you are role models for many, many students. And when we completed 50 years of our passing out from school, class 10 used to be the last class in school. I'm talking of 1969. Some of us got together and we wanted to look for our teachers. And we had a get together. Fortunately for us, 3 of our teachers after 50 years of our passing from school were still around. We brought them. One of them was in another town. We made arrangement for him to travel to the town. I come from Hisar, and we honored them. And we told them the stories. And I was surprised at the age of 90 plus, some of them had sharp memories and told us things about each one of us which we had forgotten. So it's not just the student, it is the teachers also who have fond memories of the students. So you are all role models for your students, and you are shaping their future as role models. You don't know what they will pick up from your behavior and what you are teaching them. Then coming to students. Students, like teachers, are change agents, but they have an advantage. If you teach them something at the age of 20, they are going to use it for 60 or 70 years. If you teach me something, I'm 70, so maybe I'll use it for another 10 years and then that's the end of my lifetime. But these students will be there for 60, 70 years, and they will be, I will not call them voice multiplier, I will call them force multipliers. Teachers are force multipliers and students are even stronger force multipliers. And Usha Thoratji gave us figures, 150 teachers. So if you take the message to 6 or 7 members in your family, that comes to around 1,000. If you take the message, I'm just taking conservative figures of 100 students, you may be 1,000 students or thousands of students, you are reaching out to 16,000 people. So you are a force multiplier spreading the message of and I will little later come to what messages are important for us to take around. I'll give you 2 examples. When I was medical officer in charge of a primary health center, the Sarpanch came to me, sir, these youth have nothing to do in the evening. They are playing games which are non-productive, playing cards or other things. Why don't you train them? So we organized, after the PHC OPD was over, we trained the youth, the boys in first aid. And we were very happy when they brought patients who had injuries. Somebody fell down from the tractor, had injury. They brought them immediately to the primary health center and we were able to save their life. Then they came to us, why don't you train our bahuein or betiyon ko kyun nahi, our daughters and our sons' wives, why don't you train them? So we trained them in maternal child health. So the youth, the students became our resource at the primary health center. When I joined UNICEF, we started, the first polio campaign was done in Rajasthan in a district called Chittorgarh. Before Government of India took over, Delhi government was the next state government which took it over. And when I was going out in the field, I was seeing school children running out of school, going to houses, picking up under 5 children, bringing them for vaccination. So it was school children who mobilized the local population. So this is another example of how important your students are, to whom you will be giving these messages. And the next part is, cancer is everyone's concern. Today, when you look at your own families, you may have not one, many people who have suffered from cancer, are cancer survivors, and as Usha Thoratji said, they are leading normal life. So what we can do now, our life expectancy is one reason why cancers have increased. When I was born, 1953, life expectancy was 32 years in India. And had it not increased, you would have seen my obituary in 1985 in the newspaper. Sanjeev Kumar, doctor from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, good job, and then no more. I'm 70 plus and I'm going strong. So average life expectancy since independence has increased more than double. An average Indian lived more than 70 years. Women live about 3 years more than men. So if you are exposed for a longer period to carcinogens and other impact, you are more likely to get cancer. So one of the reasons is that we are living much longer. Hence, we are more likely to, I'll not go into other causes. In the course, you will look at other causes of cancer. So one reason we are living longer, even after cancer, we are living for 10, 20, 30 years. If you take good care of yourself. What can you do? There are 4 aspects. You can divide the whole population into 4 groups. One group, which is healthy, they don't even have risk factors. But they have to have desirable behavior. And what is desirable behavior? Dietary intake was mentioned earlier. You have more fruits and vegetables. You reduce intake of processed food, fats and oil, sugars, etc. So in brief, the course will cover this in more detail. Because of excess food intake, you have an increase in obesity. And there are certain types of cancers which are more likely to occur in those who are obese. Not only cancer, if you are obese, you are more likely to get hypertension, diabetes, and other health problems. So they call it 4 universal preventions against non-communicable diseases. And Dr. Thorat referred to healthy lifestyle. What are those 4 universal prevention? One is dietary intake we talked about. Second is physical activity. Make sure that it becomes a part of your habit. If you preach to somebody, have physical activity, do some exercise, yoga, or whatever you are doing, and you're not doing it yourself, they will not follow your advice. So bring it into these 4 universal preventions into your own personal life, and then you can ask others also to do this. Smoking. And I go back to about 20 years back when I was in Geneva and participating in a UN meeting. And I asked my daughter, who had started experimenting with smoking, to give me some data. I gave her some scientific publications, give me some data on what I should say in this meeting. She gave me a figure from one of the papers, and 20 years back, now it may be worse. 250 million, 25 crore log, जो आज बच्चे हैं वो टोबैको रिलेटेड कंडीशन से अपना जीवन खो देंगे at younger age. That number may be more now. So some of those things, if you take from children, and the benefit of that figure was she stopped experimenting with smoking. So this is one way of engaging children. And smoking is one thing which is self-induced. And I remember Jyotsna ji and the team had organized competition in the schools on smoking and what can be done to prevent. And children had done an excellent job to spread the message about preventing. 4th thing is alcohol. Recently, WHO has said no amount of alcohol intake is safe. Most of our life, we had 1 or 2 packs are fine. They're good for health, especially red wine is good for health. The latest scientific data is no alcohol is safe, so don't take alcohol at all. So these are the 4 universal precautions we must follow ourselves and spread the message to our family members, in our social circle, and also to our students. So this is those who are healthy, have no risk factor. Then we have some of us who are at a risk factor. Some of the cancers will be covered in the course, are more likely to happen, like breast cancer may run in the family. So they have risk factor. Those who are smokers are having self-induced risk factor. Those who take alcohol have self-induced risk factor. Those who do not take healthy diet have self-induced risk factors. So most of the risk factors are self-induced if you want to prevent cancer. Then the 3rd category is those who have early disease. There are many conditions like in oral cancer, cancer of the mouth. You can pick up these conditions early. There is some whitening of the inner lining of the cheek, of the mucosa. And in cervix, you may have some lesions which are not cancer as yet, can become cancer. You can cure them fully and prevent any cancer in future. Cancer starts and then it starts spreading. So if you pick it up early, when it has just started, you can take it out completely and you are cured. So cancer can be cured if pre-cancerous conditions are picked up and early cancer conditions are picked up and treated. So early detection, and our colleagues in Indian Cancer Society organize various cancer detection camps. They educate the people and run some basic tests to pick up the cancers early. And next is on 3rd of September. Yes,
please
Jyotsna,
excuse me. Sanjeev?
Yes.
Yeah. You're not leaving our trainers anything to say in the next 5 days. So I'll ask you please to wind up so that they can get started.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. And the last group is,
Yes.
is those with the known disease. As Usha Thoratji said, cancer is not a death certificate. Whatever stage the cancer is, hopefully it will be picked up early if people are aware. It can be treated. And you today have people who have survived one cancer and then had another cancer and survived that also. So you have, serial, if you can use the term, serial cancer survivors who have survived because of the treatment. My last point I want to emphasize is saving lives. This, I will say, is a noble cause. If you save one life, whatever religion you follow, or even if you are an atheist, it does something good to you. If you follow religion, whatever religion you follow, saving one life takes you to heaven. Jannat mein leke jate hain, heaven mein leke jate hain, swarg mein leke jate hain. And through this work, the teachers who are undergoing this training will save many lives. And I often joke, हमें लेने के लिए तो शायद भैंसा आएगा यमराज का, उनको लेने के लिए शायद स्पेशल जंबो जेट आएगा स्वर्ग से कि आपने तो बहुत सारी जिंदगियां बताई, आपके लिए तो स्पेशल अरेंजमेंट किया हुआ है. So again, thanking all of you for this noble work, and I am sure through your work we will contribute to saving lives, maybe millions of lives, and many more lives. You will improve quality of life. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. And my regards to all the doctors like you who have saved so many and then are working in the field to improve upon also. So thank you so much, sir. And beautifully you have connected the cancer awareness part and the students and teachers role. So now, on the next speaker, we are going to have Professor Ved Prakash sir. He will be highlighting more on the education front, because in the changing time now, we are talking about experiential learning, the connection to the community, and how the hands-on experience can be given to our students. So this FDP, the phase 1 and followed by phase 2, is a perfect amalgamation of how we can prepare our teachers to be mentors, to be guiding our students to do the community work, and as well as they will gain the insight upon overall the concept of mentorship and how the real life application can be brought inside the classroom, and the entire teaching pedagogy has to be shifted just from the information sharing to more discussions, active engagement between the learners and the society. And so this is something I think we all will be learning in the process. And Professor Ved Prakash sir, whom I have already introduced, it's good that I introduced him before he joined, otherwise he would not have permitted me. So please, thank you so much and welcome to this forum. And we are looking forward for your kind words of wisdom. So over to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Vimal. Very good afternoon to all of you. Respected Ms. Jyotsna Govilji, Chairperson of the Indian Cancer Society Delhi chapter. Respected Professor Sanjeev Kumar, Ms. Usha Thorat, Professor Dr. Digwal, Dr. Ganesh Chandra Sinde, Principal of Yaswant College, Nanded, and Professor Bimal, Professor Sarita, and everyone, who has joined this faculty development program. Before I say something, let me take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to Ms. Jyotsna Govilji for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this faculty development program. And it is indeed heartening to note that the Delhi branch of the Indian Cancer Society, in collaboration with Vidyavani Foundation, has come up with this faculty development program where, the attempts are made to harness the power of teachers and students as voice multipliers for cancer control. As we strive to elevate the quality of education and nurture responsible citizens, it is essential to recognize the profound impact faculty members can have beyond the classrooms. Integrating cancer awareness as a module in our faculty development program is not just a commendable initiative. I would consider it a transformative step towards a more socially conscious and empowered educational community. Cancer, we all know, that is a pervasive health challenge that affects millions worldwide. And if we equip our faculty with accurate, up-to-date information about cancer type, risk factors, preventive measures, and support systems, empower them to conduit of crucial information to students. Through this, the faculty members can become advocate for healthier lifestyle and proactive health choices. Faculty members are influential role models for students. By integrating cancer awareness discussions into various subjects, teachers can foster open dialogue about health, dispel myths, and encourage students to seek reliable information. This not only raises awareness, but also encourages students to become proactive about their health and the health of their family members from a very young age. Cancer awareness is not limited to medical sciences. Integrating this topic across various disciplines from humanities to business demonstrates the interconnectedness of health issues with diverse fields. This cross-disciplinary approach enriches the students' understanding of complex problems and encourages holistic thinking, which is underlined in the national education policy, which we have brought out 3 years ago. There is a growing demand for integrating humanities and arts with science and technology, as the world is increasingly realizing that the new knowledge lies at the intersections of different disciplines. National education policy is based on the principles that education must develop not only cognitive capacities, but also social, ethical, and emotional capacities and dispositions. The purpose of the education system is to develop good human beings capable of rational thought and action, possessing compassion and empathy, courage and resilience, scientific temper and creative imagination, with sound ethical moorings and values. National education policy has underlined the significance of holistic education, where students at all higher educational institutions are expected to have opportunities for internships with local industry and businesses, so that they may learn the art of active engagement with the outside world and pick up the skills that can help them face the challenges of the practical side of the life. Education is not just about transmitting facts. It is about nurturing well-rounded individuals who can contribute positively to the society. Including cancer awareness in the curricular provision emphasizes social responsibility, compassion, and the value of knowledge for the greater good. Faculty members can become catalysts for positive change in the communities. Cancer, often shrouded in myths and stigma, need to be discussed very openly. And faculty members armed with accurate information can address misconceptions, normalize discussions about cancer, and break down barriers that hinder timely diagnosis and treatment seeking. Introducing cancer awareness as a module fosters collaboration among the faculty members. They can brainstorm innovative ways to integrate the topic into their subject, share their resources, and collectively create a supportive network dedicated to empowering students with critical health information. Incorporating cancer awareness into our faculty development program is not just about imparting knowledge. It is about cultivating a community that cares, shares, and actively contributes to the well-being of its members. Cancer is a global health challenge which affects not only individuals but also communities. And as educators and role models, faculty members have a unique opportunity to empower students with knowledge that extend beyond textbooks. We need more and more number of teachers who take the students beyond the prescribed syllabi, make them more responsible citizens. And by equipping ourselves with accurate information about cancer, its risk factors, prevention strategies, and available support system, we can guide our students towards healthier lifestyle and a proactive approach to their health. Under such initiative, one can provide the recipients with resources, insights, and training that will enhance their understanding of cancer and enable them to effectively disseminate this knowledge to students as also to the communities. A program like this can enrich our understanding of different types of cancer, their prevalence, and the latest advancements in cancer research. It can also equip us with information about the common risk factors associated with cancer and strategies for reducing these risks through lifestyle modifications like Professor Sanjeev ji was telling us a little while ago. It can also help us empower students by way of offering guidance on incorporating cancer awareness discussions. It can also create awareness about support and resources available in dealing with cancer-related challenges. By integrating cancer awareness into our faculty development program, we are taking a significant step towards creating a community that is not only academically enriched, but also socially responsible. Teachers' contribution as educators goes beyond textbooks. Teachers have the power to inspire positive change that can save lives and transform our society. Dear friends and colleagues, together we can make a significant difference, one that transcends classrooms and impact lives far beyond. Let us embark on this journey of education, empathy, and transformation together. Let us try to make the most out of this initiative, which is jointly launched by Jyotsna ji, her team, and Professor Vimal Rar under the aegis of the Indian Cancer Society. With these words, I would once again like to express my sincere thanks to Jyotsna ji for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this faculty development program. Thank you very much, and over to Professor Vimal.
Thank you so much, sir. I think you have given the gist of in what direction as a team we are trying to move. And really, it is going to be a journey for the holistic development of our students that we are talking about. So the community involvement definitely will be inculcating the values in them, which is missing. So what we talk about is only knowledge, but now with the addition of skills and values. And what I personally feel this course along with the phase 2 is going to instill values in our system, and the society needs that, because in every classroom, these students that we are nurturing, they are not just individuals, we are nurturing the entire society, and that change will be brought if we all contribute to this. Thank you so much, sir, for giving this overview on that. Maybe Jyotsna ma'am will like to add something. Ma'am, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Unmute me from thanks very much, and thank you, Professor Ved Prakash, for joining us. It's a real honor to have you and Sanjeev and to have Mrs. Thorat with us. We are all headed in the same direction, and I think, as Sanjeev said, we are all going to end up with the title of force multipliers after our names. One more effort that we are putting into this force multiplication is an app that we are working on and have been working on for the past 1 year. Dr. Priya Parmar, our Director Operations, and the team at ICS have really worked hard on this. And it is an app in 5 languages, sir. so that from north to south, we will be covering everybody. It is in English, Hindi, it is in Marathi, it is in Bengali, and it is in, what else? One more, 5, Kannada. Kannada. To
Okay.
have everybody in the country linked through that, and incidentally also linking all the branches of Indian Cancer Society. So it's an exciting plan, and we're going to be releasing it next month. So we're all pretty excited about it. It's not something that will stop with its inauguration. Like the FDP, like the Cancer Fundamentals program on SWAYAM, ours are all ongoing programs. So we need help from everybody to make them exciting, to make them something to work on. And an interesting development, Vimal, I'll take half a minute more, is that when Priya wrote to people who are doing the courses on Cancer Fundamental, as I told you, we have 18,000 of them. So when we wrote to a cross section of them, we got an instant answer from a whole group. Someone in Bhojpuri, someone in Assamese, what I don't know what the new name for Assamese is, Ahom, whatever, from Orissa. People were volunteering to say, we will translate for you, put it on the app. So I don't know how big this app is going to become. I think our sponsors are going to have a fit when they find out. But we'll do our best to include as many languages, if not on the app, then on the course on SWAYAM. Thanks very much. And I'll hand the mic over to my colleague, Aruna Ummat.
Ma'am, before that, we have two principals also speaking.
So
Yeah.
sorry, I'm so sorry. Yes, we do have two principals.
And
So
thank you
you do-
for that update and like the Punjabi version of the Cancer Fundamental course.
Yes, we
And,
have a new Punjabi version. So maybe we'll be adding a new language on that program every 6 months or a year. We'll certainly work for it, Vimal. And I know we'll keep on bothering you about uploading all those courses. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I will request Dr. Ganesh Chandra Shinde, principal from Yashwant Mahavidyalaya, Nanded, Maharashtra. So please speak a few words.
Okay. Good afternoon, one and all. Respected Uma, respected Vimal Madam, Sir Shailaja, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar ji, and all the dignitaries on this panel, and particularly from my college, and Professor Chauhan and Professor Ambe. They have given the effort for the organizing of from our. So let me first congratulate to the Indian Cancer Society and Guru Angad Dev, Teaching Learning Center, Khalsa College, Delhi University, for organizing an excellent program, which is very needful for the society, which is needful for the community, for the development is concerned. So, for the college is concerned, I must say that our college is a 3 times A college, A plus A grade, having a Paramarsh scheme, which is the mentor-mentee scheme, which is very important for this type of FDP also for the concern, because the mentor-mentee is there. And for that 5 colleges we have mentor, and out of which 1 is A grade. So this FDP is also for, we have connected these 5 colleges here also. So I think but more there for the cancer prevention is very. Yesterday only when I was talking to my daughter, he's a gynecologist, he's in the medical profession like COVID. He told me that certain are there. There are so many different types of cancer diseases are there, but these diseases can be prevented. These are prevented, and most of this is the low area. How to this rural area? This is at this trainer, which you are going for the training to the trainers. So I think their duties for this event, they have to go to the rural area and the rural society, such way that you have to take the precautions and preventions from. I will quote only two things on this platform because there is a time limit for me. So our college having a very good research centers, near about 19 research centers are there, out of which one of the research center, that is the chemistry, is concerned, where our researchers have developed anti-cancer samples, anti-cancer samples, anti-cancer samples, and they are known for this anti-cancer. And second thing that in the last COVID pandemic is we have this counseling that Thorat madam, right? Counseling is important. This emotional support for the cancer patients is very important. In the pandemic situation, we have on this. We have a psychosocial. From this, we have done a very good counseling for this COVID patient. So here also, I assure that this platform, our faculty for this socio healing for this cancer. So thank you very much for the organizing team for collaborating our Yeshwant Mahavidyalaya for, and definitely will connect with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And it's a delight to know that your team is already working on this front in developing these drugs, but also how you can connect to the rural segment in your area. That's also very encouraging for all of us. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And now I will request Dr. J.K. Digwal, sir, Principal, Government Mahila Engineering College, Ajmer. So your entire Rajasthan through the Ajmer. So, let me share with you, Dr. Rakhi. I am collaborating with her since I think last more than 2 years since the Corona time. And it's a delight and pleasure to know how much your institution is doing in that area, sir. So over to you, sir, please.
Thank you, Professor Bimal. A very warm good afternoon to respected Mrs. Jyotsna Govil-ji, Professor Ved Prakash-ji, Mrs. Usha Thorat-ji, Professor Sanjeev, Dr. Ganesh Chandra Sindhe-ji, and Dr. Rakhi Khandelwal, Dr. Meghna Kumawat, coordinator from the Mahila Engineering College, Ajmer, esteemed delegates and the participants. At the outset, on the behalf of Mahila Engineering College, Ajmer, I would like to extend thanks to the coordinators, organizer of the Fdp from the Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, who provided us an opportunity to collaborate. I feel very pleased to share that we have tried, and the 24 participants in this collaboration. And I wish that after attending this FDP, they may become mentor and train the students at their institute. And definitely, we will try that we come, as Professor Jyotsna saying, that we will try that we come into the second phase also, and train the students so that the more awareness in the society can be spread. This 1 week FDP on cancer awareness will definitely prove benefits to all of us. However, one can beat cancer by the way one lives, and the 4 things that Professor Sanjeev has discussed. First time I heard these things, and this complete area is new for me also. I am learning. So definitely this will benefit our society, this type of the training programs. This FDP on cancer awareness is of utmost importance and most relevant in the current scenario, as it will make all of us aware about this disease, its preventive information, and treatment that are available. So I will not take the much time because the delegates and other participants want to listen the esteemed speakers on the area only. At the end, I wish a great success of this FDP. Thank you. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. And this is what the connection we require. Engineering students, if they have to really make some equipment, why don't they look at the needs of the society? So if you look in this particular theme, the cancer survivors, if they are facing some difficulty and if our engineering students can address to that, that is what is the new education policy all about, and that we talk about engineer have to be connected with society. So with these type of activities and programs and the community outreach, I think our students will be also getting ideas on how they can be innovative in terms of applying what theoretical concept they are studying. So every institution, every teacher, every student can draw it in a different way, and I'm sure going to be very, and we all, even I'm going to listen, like you said, and especially I think you'll agree, those who are from science background, right? Mostly science, but nothing about the, so that boundaries and all we have to diffuse and take it further. And congratulations to all dear colleagues who have joined in this. It is really motivating for us. And in turn, you have to now motivate your students, even if it is like internship, but out of that also, rightly said by Usha ma'am and Sanjeev sir, is that you have to be connecting to each and every student immediately around your society. So the multiplier effect is going to be huge. And don't worry, we are all as a team with you. So wherever you have any issue, conducting any seminar or conducting any survey, the ICS team and we will be throughout the year with you. So it's not just a 1 week program. It's going to be an annual event with all of you. And I request humbly to all of you, please take the phase 2, because that's where the impact can be really seen and we can make a difference, which all of us are dutiful to make our country a more better place to live and our students more responsible ones and with the human values in them. So with these words, now I will request Dr. Aruna Umat. Maybe she will be adding more because she's has been coordinating, putting all the things together, and for the formal vote of thanks for the inaugural. So over to you, Dr.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. We are coming to the end of the inaugural session of the FDP, and it's my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks. Our sincere thanks to Mrs. Usha Thoret, Honorary Secretary, Indian Cancer Society, who despite her very busy schedule could spare time to be with us. Mrs. Thoret, you have been instrumental in monitoring and managing HDFC Cancer Care Fund, which is supporting very large number of cancer patients all over the country. As managing trustee of Indian Cancer Society, I'm sure under your leadership, Indian ICS will scale greater heights. Thank you, Mrs. Thoret, for your valuable time with us. Our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, Chairman and Managing Trustee, 3-Domain Health Leadership Foundation, for having accepted our invite to grace the inaugural session. Sir, you being the former Director, Indian Institute of Health Management and Research, fully understand the importance of disseminating awareness about healthcare, and our focus in this training program is the same. To spread awareness and and among the group of educators about the risks, symptoms, and preventive measures of the dreadful cancer, this disease which is spreading its tentacles at a very alarming rate. It is hoped that the participants in turn will sensitize the young students under their care about the same. So you're being on the managing board of ICS Delhi, your support to ICS is indeed invaluable, and we thank you for that. I thank Professor Ved Prakash, former chairman UGC and chairman Vidyavani Foundation, for his gracious presence this afternoon. Under your leadership, sir, Vidyavani Foundation has been providing us continued technical support for online delivery of this prestigious program. We are indeed grateful to you for this facility for some smooth conduction of this training.
Ma'am, I think you have been mute. You'll have to unmute. I think there's some. Yeah, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. I thank the two principals, Dr. Digwal from Ajmer and Dr. Shinde from Maharashtra, for joining us. Collaboration of your colleges in this FDP program is really admirable. Professor Vimal Rad, I thank you for your innovative ideas, which are so crucial to the success of this program. Whenever we got stuck planning the training program, you always had a solution that encouraged us to move forward smoothly, and we appreciate it. I, on behalf of my core team of FDP, convey our gratitude to two important persons at the helm of affairs of ICS Delhi, Mrs. Jyotsna Govil, Chairperson, and Mrs. Renuka Prasad, Honorary Secretary, for supporting us at every step. Mrs. Renuka Prasad is traveling, so she could not be with us. Mrs. Govil, despite your ill health, you guided us from time to time. Your encouraging messages are always very comforting to us. Thank you, ma'am, for your encouragement. A big thank you to all my colleagues, the fellow trainers, for making all efforts to ensure that this training program is stimulating for the participants. Last but not the least, I thank all the participants for choosing this training program as social responsibility project and becoming our source multiplier, as Dr. Sanjeev Kumar said, to disseminate awareness about cancer control. We hope that you find this week-long training program very exciting and meaningful. Thank you once again.
Thank you everyone. Thank you, ma'am. And I think we break for a small duration and then we go to the next.
I think we have running short of time, but we'll definitely give 5 minutes to the participants to stretch their legs, and then we are back on to the awareness sessions now.
So thank you all the
Thank you for all the guests for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
So please don't leave. You can just talk about this and Sarna ma'am, now you will be handling this part, huh? Further. I think Jyotsna ma'am, you are on mute. You'll have to unmute, ma'am. Jyotsna ma'am.
She's asking, what are you asking her to do?
Ma'am, I think he's saying something, but her audio is mute.
Okay.
Our technicians have heard me for so long that they don't want to hear me any further, so they keep muting me. No, I said just have a quick break, do some exercise sitting in your chair. Where is Priya? She does this very well and has us moving in our chairs so we can get started straight away on the next session.
So those who are here, I think we have a good number.
So I think 5:10, let's wait, ma'am. By 5:10,
sure.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you mind if I leave? Aruna?
Hanji.
Do you mind if I leave for a little while? Can I leave?
Yes, ma'am.
Hanji, please do.
Yeah.
I can
Okay,
understand it
thanks so
had been a lot of strain
Thank
on
you
your
to
eyes.
everybody, and I'll catch up with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Can we start now? If you please remove this sheet. Indrajit, are you ready? Yeah. Well, I can't see anybody's face except two of us who are going to speak only. So I hope you are all in your seats now. And let me just give you a very brief introduction of the session and of the speaker. First, the session. We will be having today, we'll have two sessions. One will be, we planned for 1.5 hour total, 30 minutes and all. I may request Indrajit if she can cut short by 5 minutes, because we have overshot by 40 minutes in the inaugural. So anyway, we will give you an overview of the this disease, cancer. What is it about? And how much it has, I mean, the statistically, globally, and in Indian scenario, what cancers are the most common cancers, and why this disease is on the rise. And later, we will talk in general the risk factors, the preventive measures, the symptoms of this disease in general. And from tomorrow onwards, we'll switch over to specific cancers, the common cancers, so that you have just have an overview of the whole thing, and then we'll specifically talk about the risk, symptoms, and preventions of various common cancers. So with this, let me very, very briefly introduce my colleague, Dr. Indrajit Sethi, who retired from Khalsa College, Delhi University as Associate Professor. And she has been associated with Indian Cancer Society for the last almost more than 8 years after her retirement. She is not only greatly knowledgeable, but an experienced awareness speaker, and gives awareness talks at various platforms, be it community talks or radio talks or the schools and colleges. So as Mrs. Govil, also our chairman, pointed it out, she had been instrumental in bringing out the e-learning program, the modules into, translated into Punjabi language for the benefit of the greater population. So we thank her for that. And now I pass it on to Indrajit for her technical session. On to you.
Thank you very much, Aruna. Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy so many of you have joined this course and are interested to know about cancer. And in the next 30 minutes, I will try to complete it in 25 minutes as told to me. I will talk about the basics of cancer, its statistics, and why it is on the rise. There are some questions which keep bothering me, and probably they are bothering you too. Like, is anyone safe from cancer? Are we immune? And we have been told just now by Professor Sanjeev Kumar that if we don't smoke, we don't drink, we take care and don't maintain a healthy weight, use sunscreen, eat right, maybe we can avoid cancer. Is it correct? Now, if somebody gets cancer, even after this, the person will say, why me? What wrong did I do? So can anybody get cancer, or is everybody safe from cancer? This is the question which comes to the mind, and they keep bothering everybody. Let me tell you why we are not safe from cancer. Before I talk about cancer, let me tell you something about the body cells, because we should know about that. All of you know that cell is the basic unit of life, and every organism is made up of one or many cells. Now, our body has trillions of cells. In order to understand what goes wrong in the cancer, it is important to understand how normal cells function. So there are 4 basic units, biomolecules, which you can call, like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and nucleic acids, which constitute the cell. And all the structural and the chemical functioning of the cell is because of those 4 macromolecules. Now, why it is important to talk about them? Because nucleic acids are the one which constitute the DNA, and the DNA give all the information to the cell. Like my body, my one arm is not longer than the other. Okay. So what I want to tell you, next slide, please, in the body cell. Now, what I want to tell you is that the nucleic acids, they are controlling all the DNA regulation. Now, why it is important to talk about the protein or why should you know about it? I will just give you one example. There are glycoproteins, that is protein and glucose. When they join together, it forms glycoprotein. Now, to see whether your body has any constituent like a PSA test or CA-125, which we do for ovarian cancer, these are glycoproteins. So it is important to understand these building blocks, which give you vital clues to the treatment of cancer. Next slide. Now, what is cancer? As cancer is a disease of the cell, everybody knows. It is not caused by any organism. Banning 2, which you will be told in our next sessions. So cancer is a disease of the cell. As we said, the cell is the basic unit of life. Now these cells, they continuously grow and divide and make new cells as it is needed. Now when these cells, they are growing and they are dividing, sometimes, and now the DNA is copied and is put into the next cell. Now, sometimes errors occur during this duplication. Like the typos occur while we type is a very common thing. Now you have in your computer also, you have proofreading mechanism, and usually the typos are corrected on its own. In the body also, we have proofreading mechanism, and they correct these typos. Which is that proofreading mechanism? Our immune system. So if anything enters our body, it is corrected by if any wrong goes in the nucleic acid, our immune system corrects it. But sometimes, once in a while, this error slips through. And when it slips through, this is known as mutation. Now, you must be thinking, if there is one mutation, do I get cancer? No. There are collection of mutations which need to be brought into the cell, and then the cancer will be formed. There are certain changes which take place in the genome, and this leads to uncontrolled growth of cells. As you can see in this picture also, there is a normal cell and some genetic changes take place in that. And while dividing, this genetic change, this lead into the formation of undifferentiated cell. So every daughter cell, it inherits the malfunction. So the reasons for the cancer we can sum up into, like it can be genes, it can be environment, it can be the increasing age, which we were talking, and we will talk again also, and it is chance. Next slide, please. Now, all of you have heard about tumor. What is a tumor? It's a mass or a lump of tissue that may resemble a swelling. Now, this is an abnormal mass which arises from the pre-existing body cells. In this picture also, you can see that there are two kinds of tumor which have been shown, but I have mentioned that there are three kinds because there is pre-malignant kind of tumor also. What is a benign tumor? The picture shows that it has a covering, but the malignant tumor doesn't have a covering, so the cells, they are going out. Next slide, please. Benign tumors, if I talk about what they look like, they are well-differentiated cell, but they resemble the normal cell from which they have originated, and they grow slowly. And these tumors, they are localized, and they do not invade the nearby tissue. So that means that metastasis does not take place. Now, many of you may not be knowing what is metastasis. When cancer spread to our other body parts, we call it as metastasis. Now, if we observe under the microscope, in these tumors, that is benign tumors, the shape, the chromosome, and the DNA of the cells, they appear normal. Why do they develop? We don't know the reasons. So these tumors, in my next slide, you will see the picture also. They do not require treatment because they are not health threatening. Now, continuing with benign tumors, next slide, please. They, as in the picture also, it was shown that they have well-defined borders. So surgical removal can be an effective treatment, and they don't come again when it have been removed surgically. They are unlikely to come back when they are removed, and they don't need further treatment. Like we will be talking about the treatment options which are available in cancer, like radiation treatment, chemotherapy. But in benign tumors, you don't need to do that. But sometimes these tumors, they can become serious if they press against the blood vessels or the nerves. And then they are very much similar to the malignant tumor, which is a cancerous tumor. And then they need treatment. The examples are the moles on the skin which develop. You may have a tumor in the brain, which is benign. Next slide, please. Polyps in the colon, or there may be fibrosis in the uterus. Now, in these 4 pictures, the first picture is showing that this child had, from the beginning only, like from the birth, this red mark, but it is not harmful. If he doesn't like, the parents do not like, they can get it removed. The second picture is of a lady which is aged and she has a lot of moles on its skin. The third is of a brain tumor, which is a benign tumor, but this needs to be removed. As I said, that it may affect the nerves. And generally, when there are polyps develop which in the uterus, then also this needs to be removed because they become very large, and these fibroids or the polyps, they may press against the blood vessels. So this needs to be removed. So this is about benign tumors. Next slide, I will talk about pre-malignant tumors. Now, what are pre-malignant? These are not yet cancerous, but they have the potential to become so. Example I have given one is, although there are many, solar keratosis. This generally, we see solar keratosis in fair-skinned people due to sun exposure. So there are rough scaly patches which are there on the exposed part of the skin, and they can develop into skin cancer, so are advised to get treated. Other examples are the precancerous lesions in the cervix, which tomorrow they will talk about it, so I will not be going into the details, and the oral cavity, which we will be talking on our third day. Next slide, please. These are about malignant tumors. Now you know about benign tumors, you know about precancerous tumor. So malignant tumors, they are the cells are undifferentiated. So this is the major difference from the benign tumors, that in benign tumors, the cells are differentiated. They look the same from which the tissue they have originated, but in malignant tumor, the cells become undifferentiated. They do not resemble the normal cells from which they have originated. So they invade the surrounding tissue, and the surgical removal is difficult or risky, and they usually grow very rapidly, and they do not possess capsule, as we have shown you in our first slide. And when they reach the blood vessel or a distant location, they invade the tissue or the blood vessel and start growing there. So these tumors, we need to remove them because these are cancerous tumor, and they may spread in the whole body, and then the person may die when it becomes malignant. And aggressive treatments are required to remove malignant tumor, like surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, or immunotherapy medications. Next slide, please. Malignant tumors, in this picture, we have shown how do they spread. This is very important to know because we know about bloodstream, yes, but we do not know about the lymphatic system. So the malignant tumors, the cells, they break away and travel through the bloodstream or the lymphatic system. In this, you can see that there are nodes present, and there are the lymph vessels. So they, as you can see, they are present below this neck area, or they are under the groin and under the arms. So these are the places where the glands are present. They are tiny bean-shaped glands. So through this, they travel to other parts of the body. Next slide, please. The other ways is this picture is showing how cancer spread. One way I have told is through the lymph node, and the other is the blood vessels. So these are the two circulatory systems which are there in the body. Now, you will see that in majority of the cases, as you can just have a look at the picture, and you will see that majority of the cases, you will find that the lung is there. That from the cervix also, this may go to lung. From the prostate also, it may go to lungs. Although in some, it is not written, but yes, it goes. In pancreas also, it is going to lung. Because in the lungs, the purification of the blood is taking place, and it is getting oxygen. So all the blood from all the parts of the body, it is going to the lungs. So we find that when it becomes metastatic, majority of the time it go to the lung. And then whether we call it lung cancer, no, we don't call it lung cancer. In my next slide, I will show you what are the types of cancer. Now, the types are, there are more than 200 types of cancers. And generally, they are classified based on where they start in the body. Like if it starts in the breast, we call it breast cancer. If it starts in the pancreas, we call it pancreas cancer. If it starts in the lung, we call it lung cancer. But they can also be grouped according to the cell or the tissue they started. On the basis of this, we have divided cancers into 5 types. The first and the most common is the carcinoma. Carcinomas, they are solid tumors, and they are present in the internal organs and the glands. Like most of the cancers which we are talking about, they are all carcinoma. Cancer of the prostate, breast, lung, colorectal, kidney, liver, skin, all are carcinomas. The second kind, the next slide please, are the sarcomas. Sarcomas, they begin as a swelling in the supportive or the connective tissue of the body. And they can develop in the fat muscles or the joints or the tendons, cartilage, bones, or the blood vessels or the lymphatic vessels. Examples are bone sarcoma or the soft tissue sarcoma, or if it develops in the fat tissue, we call it as liposarcoma. So these are soft tissue kind of cancer, which we call as sarcoma. So one is carcinoma, which is very common. Second kind is sarcoma, which is in the supportive or the connective tissue. The third kind is leukemia. All of you have heard about it. Leukemia is a cancer of the blood. It develops when the healthy blood cells, they change and grow uncontrollably. Leukemia can be divided into 2 types. One is acute leukemia and another is chronic leukemia. Chronic is slow growing leukemia and the acute is the fast growing leukemia. So many patients who have slow growing type of leukemia, they don't show any symptoms. And the rapidly growing type of leukemia may cause symptoms like fatigue, weight loss, frequent infections, easy bleeding or bruising, but not necessarily that it is only found in children. Even elder people, they can have leukemia, and sometimes you cannot know about it. As I said, that if it is a slow growing one, you don't have any symptoms. So sometimes people, they don't bother about it, and then it becomes a fast growing one and they have to be treated. The fourth kind of cancer is the lymphomas. Now this begins in the lymphatic system. What is lymphatic system? I have talked about this earlier also, probably you know, but I will talk about this again. This is a cancer that develops in the infection fighting cells of the immune system. We call them as lymphocytes. These cells are lymph node. I have shown lymph node picture earlier. Spleen, it is in the bone marrow or other parts of the body. In these lymphocytes, they can change and grow out of control. This is cancer, then it becomes out of control. This is lymphoma. The examples of lymphomas is Hodgkin lymphoma and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. The fifth kind I will take here is the myeloma. This is a cancer which form in the plasma cells. Now, what is a plasma cell? These are a type of white blood cells that are formed in the bone marrow. Now, when bacteria and viruses enter our body, some of the white blood cells, they will change into plasma cells. And these plasma cells, they will make antibodies and they fight bacteria and viruses. So this is the function of the plasma cell. Now, if cancerous growth happen in the plasma cells, they accumulate in the bone marrow and crowd out healthy blood cells. So I hope you have understood what are the 5 kinds of basically cancers. Of course, I've said there are more than 200 kinds, depending upon the kind which are starting in that. Now, one thing which I haven't answered here, first let me finish this. So what you have seen is that there are solid tumors, okay? And the 3 kinds which I have discussed now, leukemia, lymphoma, and myeloma, they don't form solid tumor, they are liquid tumor because you don't call it tumor actually. This is a cancer which is there in the system, that is the circulatory system of our body, whatever it is that I have discussed. Now, if my cancer is metastatic and it was there in the liver, but it has gone into the lungs, so we will still call it liver cancer gone into the lungs. It is metastatic in the lungs. We will not call it lung cancer. But if my lung cancer has gone into the liver, we will call it lung cancer metastatic in the liver. We will be talking about lung cancer in detail in my 3rd day, so you will come to know many things. So this is about the basics of the cancer, which we wanted to discuss. And now my next topic, the rising tide. Next slide, please. Now, cancer incidence is continuing to increase in India, as all of you know. It has been predicted by Globocan. What is Globocan? It is a global cancer observatory, okay? And they give us data, worldwide data, and they give out cancer in India also. They gave us data that there were 20.8 lakhs cancer cases in 2020, and they have predicted that in 2040, there will be rise of 57.5%. That is a huge number. It was 13 lakh, as you can see in this picture. In the second picture, that is in India data, it was 13 lakh in 2020, but in 2040, it will be around 21 lakhs. That's a huge number. Now, some of you might be thinking, what is the need to study all this? The need to study is that if you know what is going to happen and what is your prediction, you can think about having policies so that cancer can be reduced. Now, there are lifestyle-related cancer, like lung cancer. That is lifestyle-related because it is related with tobacco. Colorectal cancer, that also is lifestyle-related. Whatever we eat, that may form colorectal cancer, or skin cancer if you are more exposed to the sunlight. They are increasing. It has been estimated that they are increasing, but there are several cancers which are infectious because of infectious viruses. These are cervical and stomach cancer, they are decreasing. The reason can be that there is more awareness and more vaccination people are getting, so therefore they are reducing. And another estimation is that by 2040, over 2/3 of the world cancer will be in the low income or in the middle income countries. So it is very helpful in planning cancer prevention and control activities through intervention. So that is why it is essential to study about statistics of cancer. Next slide, please. Now, my next slide is giving you detail of the cancer statistics in males in the Globocan 2020 data, the world and India. Now, in this, you can see that in India, the lip and the oral cavity cancer is at the top. But in the world, the lung cancer is at the top. And what is the situation now? The situation is entirely different, as we will see in our later slides. Now, many of you must be thinking that why are we discussing about 2020 Globocan data when we are already in 23 and we are in the middle of the year, more than half of the year is past. The reason for that is that all the data which we get is an estimation now, because actual data you will get only after 3-4 years, because it's a very tedious process, very laborious process, a complex process of abstraction of the data, then analyzing it or reporting it. If any of you take any project later of collecting this data from all the hospital-based data or from the nursing homes, you can also do this kind of a data. What is the situation in my state or in my area about the cancer? This will be a very good project for you. So it is very essential to study it. Worldwide, we should know what is the situation and then what is India, because we are concerned about India. So next slide, please. In the next slide, you can see that this is statistics of the female Globocan 2020 data. In the world, you can see breast cancer is at the top, and still in India also the breast cancer is at the top. And the second position is very important. The cervix uteri is at the second position in India. But in the world, it is colorectal cancer. So that is a lifestyle related cancer. And cervix uteri, as I told you, is the associated with the virus. So that is decreasing, although not that much, but yes, from the earlier whatever data we have seen, it is reducing. Now, next slide, please. I will now compare, give you the data, what is now the situation. So the burden of cancer, as we say, is rising in India. In 2020, as we have seen in the Globocan, this is all Globocan data, but later than that, of course, as I told you that 3-4 years it takes for the data to compile. So these are all estimated data, but by ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research data. So this is also correct, but we still say this is estimated. So 2020, it was 13.92 lakh, and the mortality also was quite high. This is concerning figure, that people, they come late, so mortality is very high. In 2021, the data says that 14.26 lakh people, this was the incidence of cancer, and the mortality figure also has rise. In 2022, again, the data is showing that more number of people, the incidence cases have increased, and the mortality is also high. And it is 2025, as I said earlier also, 57.5% from 2020 will increase. So it is 15.69. So it is estimated that 1 in 9 Indians will develop cancer during their lifetime. This is a very, very high figure. And another thing which I want to bring to your notice here is, if you see on the right-hand side, there are two columns. The red column says that the male ratio per 1 lakh is 94.1, and the female ratio is 103.6. Now, generally, we have seen that this is a very, very low figure compared to the other countries, like in the Australia and in America, the figure is about 400 or 500 per 1 lakh. And why the incidence of cancer in India is so low, the estimated figure? Is this possible that in India we have less incidence cases? Well, it is not correct, but the reason for this is that in India, like in the world, Australia or in US, if you see that the lifespan of people is more, but in India it is less. So people don't reach till that point that they get the cancer. So that is why the incidence ratio, which we have found, is low there. But as you know, the lifespan will increase, the incidence rate also will increase. The reason for this is that the population of India is very high. So possibly there are more cases, but we are reporting here less because many people, they may not report and they die. And later, of course, we will come to know about this. Next slide, please. Now, my next slide is giving you an idea about the cancer statistics in 2020 of male and female. I'm just comparing it because I want to show you the next slide, what is the situation now. So, because I have already shown you this, so I just want to show you here that in male, just notice it is the lip and the oral cavity, which is at the top, and the lung cancer is in the second position. And in female, it is the breast cancer, which is at the top. Now, another thing which you should notice here is the percentage. The percentage of breast cancers is 26.3 in 2020. Now, next slide, please. Let us now see what is the situation, the estimated situation in 2022. The female, the breast cancer has increased to 28.8. So the percentage is increasing. And the second position is cervix. But the uterine has been segregated. Another thing which is very important here, which you should see here, and we will be discussing about it on our third day also, is lung cancer was never seen in female in the top 10, whatever data I have shown you now. But here the lung cancer is in the 5th position, or you can say 4th position. And the chances are that in the next couple of years, it comes at the top. In the case of male, just see, the lung cancer was not at the top, but it is now at the top. So it is increasing. We need to look into this, the reason for this. So this is what is about the rising status of the cancer in India. Next slide, please. We will be talking about the geography of cancer. What does this show? Now, in this, you will see that the different states, they show different sites of cancer. Depending upon the lifestyle, the environment which is there, the genes and the chance. There are less chances of oral cancer. This is an example I'm giving you. Less chances of oral cancer in Punjab because of the less usage of tobacco or chewing tobacco. Maybe chewing tobacco is increasing, I have found, in the young generation. You can see that in Madhya Pradesh, oral cancer is highest because of the tobacco and pan masala. But another thing we have noticed it that they have tongue cancer more. But because of the policies of the government, the lung cancer is decreasing in Madhya Pradesh. Talking about the Northeast, the highest cancer is of the esophagus. And the reason is tobacco, household burning of the firewood. Then looking in West Bengal, there are urinary bladder cancer, lung cancer, which is on the rise because of the air and the water pollution. We will be talking about this on our third day, so I won't be spending much time on this. Then Goa, it is colon cancer is more because of the more consumption of red meat, alcohol, and tobacco. So we have seen that depending upon the kind of pollutants which are there. So one example in Madhya Pradesh, all of you know, is about the Bhopal gas tragedy. Because of the methyl isocyanate gas leak, there was increase of ground pollution. So there was increase of cancers also. And now next slide, I will show about the demography of cancer. Now, what is demography? Demography is the study of the social characteristics and statistics of a human population. So when you study the human population, demography of that area, and we are here studying two things, whether awareness is more demographically or not. So I have divided them into gender, education, age, and awareness, so whether it has increased or not. So let's look at one by one. If I talk about gender, men are more prone to cancer. Why? Because they take more alcohol and tobacco. But this is going to change definitely because more women are into alcohol and into tobacco smoking, as you see every day in OTT platform also, and generally in the urban society, more women are into alcohol consumption and tobacco products. So this, in the near future, we are going to say that this is not so. Then females generally are more aware of the risk of breast cancer. Instead of talking about other cancers, they know more about breast cancer. These are all, data taken from a study. So this is also a very good project which you people can take, study cancer and demography. Then about education. If we see that whether people are educated or not, and if they are uneducated, do they know about cancer? Yes, they know about cancer if some of their family members are affected. Otherwise, if you ask them, they don't know about cancer. They say that we know what cancer is a disease, but we don't know what are the risk factors, what are the warning signs, and they are known to a very few. If women have had more of schooling, they are aware of cancer. This is also a finding. And more women, they know about cervical, breast, and oral cancer, but it's not known to majority of people. Cervical cancer, of course, people don't know because they consider that this is my cervical area, so probably this is so. But now many people know about it because of the awareness campaigns which we run in these societies. Then knowledge about the risk factor or the cancer prevention modalities, they are higher in mobile phone users. This is a very good thing because now people are using mobile phones and they try to, search all the health related information on their mobile phone if they get the disease. But in the lower strata of the society, they don't have mobile phones. And if they have mobile phone, it is not a smartphone, so they don't check it. Next slide, please. Now, age and demography, we are talking about that. So there is no significant association between age group and cancer risk.
Indrajit, how long?
I think it is 2-3 minutes more.
Please.
People are more aware of cancer if their friend or near relative have had it, as I have said earlier also. What about the income? The income, if it is the higher income group, they have better chance of treatment, definitely. And lung cancer awareness is poor among the low income group people. Next slide, please. Ethnicity. So it is scheduled tribes. They are more likely to use tobacco than other castes. And oral cancer is more in the Indian subcontinent in the tribal people because they are economically and socially marginalized group. Next slide, please. Now, this is the end. Why is cancer on the rise in India? Is it on the rise in India only, or it is rise in globally? It is globally, as well as in India. So we are concerned about India. That's why we have written here India. Siddhartha Mukherjee, he has written a book, and very aptly he has written cancer equals heredity plus environment plus triggers plus chance. What is this? That heredity has a role to play in the rise in the cancer. Environment also a role, but there are triggers also. What are these triggers? That, like I told you, that mutation take place by various reasons, which we will be talking in the next slide, in the next session also. People, now next slide, please. In this slide, I am showing you all the, factors which are concerned with the rise in the cancer cases in India. Generally, when we go to the OPDs, seminars or conversation, everybody says cancer is on the rise. The word has become so bad and inhabitable. And the research at Johns Hopkins showed that the 2/3 of the cancer causing genetic mutations arise from bad luck. The researchers, they say that the DNA copying mechanism, as I have told you, that there are mistakes in the DNA copying system. It is responsible for 66% of the mutations, while 29% are because of the environmental factor and 5% are heredity. So that means that it is not essential that if your family members, they have cancer, you are bound to get it. No, there are only 5% of chances. The main factor here, which I want to stress here, is the rising population. Because two things are there. One, the population is rising. Second thing, that the average life expectancy of the people is rising. So more people means more cancer. And more life expectancy again means more cancer, because it is the older age which is responsible for majority of the cancer, because the mutations, they aggregate and then people get cancer. There were 32 years was the life expectancy during 1947, and now if I see, it is more than 70 years. To be precise, it is 71 years in India, but it is much more than that in the other globally. So 50% of the cancer cases, they occur in the people who are aged, that is 65 plus. So And other reasons can be, as I have shown here, are the sedentary lifestyle, obesity, as obesity is concerned with about 6 kinds of cancers. And there are changed dietary lifestyle of people and changed social norms. We will be talking about more in our next sessions, as in the next session only Mrs. Omat is going to talk about this. And another factor is the improved detection and diagnosis. Regarding pollution, we will be talking on the 3rd day. So my next slide, please. Conclusion slide is that anyone can get cancer on the highway of life. But if you drive carefully, you can decrease your chance of getting into an accident. Thank you very much for listening. We will have more of such sessions in our next.
Thank you, Indrajit. Thank you. We are really rushing up because our inaugural session really
I don't know how much they understood,
time,
but
anyhow, some of the things are overlapping also as well. So I'll now pass on to my session, which will be talking about the general risk factors and symptoms and all. Can I share screen, Anuj?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, we are talking of the risk factors today. First of all, one second. ले लो. Okay, I won't waste time. You do it, Anuj. Anuj, sorry, because I'll take a little time for doing it. Yeah, next. When we talk of the risk factors, what do we mean by risk factors? The chances of or the occurrence of a disease, which could be lowered by a person's own lifestyle, behavior, and exposure, or it cannot be. That is what we mean by the risk factors, means the chances of occurrence of a disease. How much it is, how does it depend upon various factors. So we will be talking about the 2 types of risk factors. One is modifiable risk factors, which can be raised or lowered by a person's own lifestyle, and the other behaviors he follows. What do we mean by lifestyle? What is how he, it includes both the diet, his habits, in the sense whether there is the person does any, what type of food he eats, what type of physical activity a person does, and what sort of risky behaviors he indulges into. That all includes into lifestyle. What type of work he does. So this all comes under lifestyle. So whatever we consume, in the sense whatever goes down our down the gut, determines how healthy we'll remain. Not only the I'm talking of the healthy or unhealthy food, but other things what one consumes. And the first one, I'll take it up as the tobacco. The various, we had 2-3 speakers, guest speakers as well, and my colleague also mentioned tobacco is the the most dangerous thing which we consume, which any person, if consumes, can be liable to many health risks or many types of diseases, including cancer. So it is said that almost 40% of the cancers are attributed to tobacco consumption. Now, tobacco has so many, about 7,000 chemicals, and out of which nearly 69 of them are carcinogens. They are cancer-causing chemicals. You will learn what type of chemicals. It could range from the science participants, science teachers would know. It could be formaldehyde, it could be carbon monoxide and lead and various others. We will have a whole module on tobacco module after day after. So, after 2 days, the third day. So the tobacco, there are so many chemicals which damage the DNA of our cells, body cells. And the 40%, when I say the cancers, they could be the cancers of the head and neck cancers are all due to mainly due to tobacco. Mouth cancers, we have, the lung, the larynx, the voice box, we call it, the esophagus, which is the food pipe, and then the bladder, kidney, you name a liver, stomach, you name an organ which is not affected by tobacco consumption. Now, not only the cancer, there is a risk of cancer by tobacco. There is even the other NCDs, the non-communicable diseases, the prominent ones. We talk about mainly 4 non-communicable diseases. One, of course, is cancer, and the others are cardiovascular disease, then diabetes and respiratory diseases. So all these are the 40% risk of, developing these diseases are due to the bad lifestyle or due to consumption of tobacco. So that's the, but that is a modifiable risk factors. One should not even experiment with tobacco because the most dangerous chemical in it, the nicotine, which is the most addictive, one cannot come out of it. So it is always, advisable not to even start this habit. Then the second one, which Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, also Dr. Sanjeev Kumar also mentioned, is alcohol. So alcohol increases the risk of the cancer if it is consumed almost every day, or, one is a habitual drinker. I was ready to say that, once in a while one takes some social drinking is okay, but now when WHO said that, it should not be even on the experimental basis, I don't know when that stage will come in our country or even globally. But yes, one should not consume, everyday alcohol, and particularly it is very dangerous if one drinks along with smoking, the tobacco consumption. So why it is so? Because alcohol is a very good solvent. Anything, the carcinogens present, the chemicals present in tobacco when one is smoking, they dissolve in alcohol very fast, and they enter the bloodstream much faster. So therefore they can cause damage to our body cells. Then the third risk factor, which also has been talked about, mentioned by Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, is obesity. Obesity, overweight is something which is detrimental to health in many ways. Now, first of all, let us first find out, I'm sure quite a few of you would know, how does one measure obesity? One measures obesity by measuring body mass index. Now, body mass index is found out or calculated by the person's weight, by taking person's weight in kilograms and dividing it by the height in meter square. Taking the square of the height measured in meters and taking square of that ratio of the weight in kilograms and the height in meter square, that determines the body mass index. And if this is, if the normal range for a healthy person is between 23 to 25, if it is more than 25, one is considered to be overweight, and if it is more than 30, one is considered to be obese. A simple method of finding the obesity, particularly the abdominal obesity, is by finding out the waist to hip ratio. Now, by a simple measuring tape, if you find out your waist size in the same units, whether you take it in inches or centimeter or whatever, and divide it by the measurement of the hip. So therefore, that ratio, if for men, it should be less than 0.88, and for women, it should be less than 0.8 for a healthy person. Now, this obesity really raises the risk of many types of cancer, because I mean, particularly of the breast, colon, uterus, pancreas, esophagus and gallbladder, etc. Now, why it is so? The fat cells, they release certain fat cells in our body. They release certain chemicals and hormones that encourage the cancerous cells to grow. So let me give you though I'm taking a very general session today, we'll talk about and specifically about these factors in specific cancers. But in menopausal women, for example, if a menopausal women, there is overweight or obesity comes in, then the hormone level, the estrogen is a female hormone, which is implicated in breast cancer. So the hormone levels, they increase, they are raised due to obesity. And that's why in menopausal women, obesity is a big risk for breast cancer. Then comes the unhealthy diet. Now, a healthy diet, which is full of nutrients, but unhealthy diet lacks optimum value of nutrients. Unhealthy diet, you all, I mean, educated participants know that it is high in fat, high in sugar, salt, and low in fiber. So the healthy diet is just the opposite, low in fat and low in salt and sugar and high in fiber. So these, the people who, apart from that, we will, apart from these three factors, therefore our diet, which is rich in vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, that is plant-based diet is a healthy diet. But if one is consuming too much of red meat, lean meat is still all right, like fish and chicken. But if one is resorting to red meat, then what happens that they are, or the processed meats, they are more likely to develop stomach and bowel cancers. Other unhealthy food we all know are the junk foods, whether they are the fried foods, aerated drinks, artificial sweeteners, or even the preservatives used in the tinned foods. So not going into the details of it, we'll come to the preventive measures and then we'll talk a little more about these things. Then comes the next one is the reproductive factors. Now, under reproductive factors, though in various cancers, when we are considered whether they are the male reproductive cancers or the female reproductive cancers, we will be talking about it tomorrow. But, there are certain social norms which also contribute to these reproductive factor, cancers also of the reproductive system. For example, if there is, late marriage, or there are no children, or late childbirth, early menstruation among ladies, and late menopause, they are all, attributed to the cancer of breast. Similarly, there are other reproductive factors which we will be talking about tomorrow. Next. Then there are certain viruses. Now, there are certain viruses which can pose a risk for various types of cancers. Now, there is this is HPV, which is abbreviation for human papilloma virus. Now, this virus normally comes through, sexual contacts. So this is implicated in various types of cancers like cervical, anal, penile cancer among men, and vaginal cancer among women, then cervical cancer, cancer of the anus, and oropharyngeal cancer, which is the oropharyngeal means this is behind the throat. That part, that they are caused, mainly the risk factor is the HPV virus, which is called human papilloma virus. Similarly, HBV and HCV, this is hepatitis B and hepatitis C virus, which is implicated in liver cancer. Then there are infections could be due to some bacteria like H. pylori, which is cause of the persistent infection with that H. pylori could be a cause of the stomach cancer, liver cancer. We will come to that, how to prevent those. Then comes the stress, is another modifiable risk factor. These are all modifiable risk factors I'm talking about. Stress, chronic stress, if a person is under stress, then there are certain stress hormones are released which suppress the immune system. Immune system means the body system which fights a disease. So they suppress the immune system, and therefore they are vulnerable to many diseases, including cancer. So in the case of, for example, a person, there may not be a direct link, but yes, there is an indirect link with many due to stress with all these NCDs, including cancer. A person under stress resort to certain unhealthy lifestyles. He or she may be indulging into binge eating unhealthy food, or indulging into tobacco or alcohol to, if one is stressed out. So therefore, there are chances of developing certain diseases, serious diseases under for a person if he is under chronic stress. So it is said that a 1 minute anger can weaken the immune system by 5 hours. And 1 minute laughter can strengthen the immune system by 24 hours. So what will we prefer? Laugh it out. Always, there are ways of coping up with the stress. So, and laughter therapy, we normally do at Indian Cancer Society with the cancer patients, or even with the survivors, with the childhood cancer patients. That is a very good, therapy for building up the immunity. Next slide. Then we come to non-modifiable risk factor. As the name suggests, they are not really under the direct control of a person. The first on the top list is the environmental pollution. Now, environmental pollution is becoming a major risk factor for many non-communicable diseases. It is considered to be a new tobacco. Environmental pollution is considered to be new tobacco. There are increasing cases, as my colleague mentioned, showed you in the slide, in the demographical data or otherwise. So the lung cancer, though the major risk factor is tobacco, but it is found that even in the non-smokers, in females also who are non-smokers, there are rising cases of lung cancer, and this is attributed to environmental pollution, the air pollution, or even the, now the air pollution, we all know as educators what it comes from. It could be the vehicular exhaust gases. It could be from burning the garbage. It could be from the construction sites, there are many factors which cause these environmental pollution, and we have a whole session on link of environment with the particularly the lung cancer in 2 days' time. So also, there are various different types of insecticides, pesticides for better growth of the crops are used, which and the chemicals are used in the fertilizers which pollute the water. So the water pollution is also a cause of developing certain cancers like cancer of the breast, bladder, lungs, pancreatic, liver, and stomach, etc. Then we come to radiation. The radiation exposure, where radiation exposure of a minimal amount is a boon in cancer treatment. Radiation therapy is carried out in burning the tumor cells. But that is very different if the exposure of the ionizing radiations is high, or it is over a longer period of time, then this could, be very damaging to the health. So it can damage the DNA of the cells. Now, ionizing radiations, those who are the science teachers here, particularly the physics teachers, they may be knowing that we have a whole range of electromagnetic spectrum, and starting from lower wavelength and going towards higher wavelength. So, so ionizing radiations are the lower wavelength and high frequency radiations. They're very energetic, they are penetrating, and they damage if the exposure is over a long span of time and the dosage of this exposure is high, then it could be very damaging. If you remember from the history that in 1945 in World War II, during nuclear bomb explosion in Hiroshima, Japan, caused so much health hazards, particularly blood cancers, the leukemia and other cancers, which passed on for decades together from one generation to the other. So much was the effect which traveled from mutated genes was passed on to the next generation. So that was the effect of the radioactive ionizing radiations. Like if I can name for the science teachers, there could be alpha, gamma, and X-rays and all. So they are very damaging. Now then the second radiations are ultraviolet radiations, which come in the electromagnetic spectrum before the visible part of the spectrum. After these ionizing radiations, then we have ultraviolet radiations, then we have VIBGYOR, right from violet to red, the whole range of the visible part of the spectrum. So these ultraviolet radiations, they come to us from the sun. So extra exposure, extra exposure to ultraviolet radiations can cause skin cancers, which are called melanomas. So now these ultraviolet radiations, normally this exposure comes in the cold countries. When there is some bright sun coming, they start having the sunbathing. So they sit in the sun for long hours, and we are thick-skinned persons in India. There is so much of heat anyway, hot summers we are quite used to it, and one should avoid these extra exposure from ultraviolet radiations by using protective clothing and using sunscreens, etc. Then we have occupational exposure. This is a type of exposure at the workplace. If person is working in certain chemical factories, he's inhaling all the time at work. He's inhaling certain dangerous or toxic chemicals, which can cause health hazards. And similarly, if a person is working, say, in mines or in rubber, cement, leather factories, so he inhales certain toxic vapors, so which can cause certain types of cancers, which will be talked about later. So then we have the genetic factors. Now, this has been mentioned, but genetic factors are, genetic cancers are not very high. Only 3 to 4% cancers are genetic in nature. So these mutated genes are passed on from the parents to the next generation, to the offsprings. So I can give you examples of, say, 2 main cancers, which one commonly hears is the breast cancer and the prostate cancer in men. But as I mentioned, they are only very low percentage of 3 to 4%. And anyhow, one should, if this runs, if it is very close relations or have these 2 cancers, then one should be, one should have regular screening, and one should also consult a doctor if there is any genetic testing required or not. Then we have the increased age, aging, which we cannot control. It is a non-modifiable, risk factor. As we grow, our exposure to the carcinogens is over a very long period. Say, for example, if they are your students, they are just about 18, 20 years of age, their exposure is only of that much to the carcinogens present in the environment, or due to faulty lifestyle, their exposure to the carcinogens is only for a limited period. But as you age, for example, if I'm 75 plus, then my exposure to the carcinogens is for that longer period. So that and the other also that your risky behaviors, your unhealthy lifestyle is also for that longer period. Secondly, as the age advances, the immunity, the immune system also weakens. So that is another reason why, with the increased age, as Dr. Sanjeev Kumar pointed it out also, that aged people, the elderly people are more prone to develop these cancers for none of their own fault. May not be, they may be having very sattvic lifestyle, but their exposure to other carcinogens present under those conditions which are non-modifiable, they are more prone to developing this disease. Then comes the race or ethnicity, which Indrajit has also pointed out. There are certain groups which have a particular, the social economic factors, their education, their religious beliefs, their lifestyles, they make them more susceptible to developing this disease. In certain communities, there is more of red meat eaters. So they will develop colon cancers and the stomach cancers. They are more often, more than other ethnic groups. So that is about the ethnicity. Next. Then we come to having known the risk factors. आपको ये भी पता होना चाहिए कि what are the early signs of developing a disease. आपका गला खराब होता है, it could be flu, it could be coronavirus, it could be your, otherwise some other problem. So you must know what is not normal to your body. If you know that. If you know your body, what is normal and what is not had been happening earlier, then one should be sensitive to those observations. And here, when we talk of the general symptoms of cancer, Not specifically, they are all specific to various cancers also, which you will be, sort of knowing from tomorrow onwards. Now, under general symptoms, we have developed an acronym called caution, where first word of this word caution gives you the first word of the change or the symptom. Sorry, not the change, the symptom. Now, C stands for change in bowel or bladder habits. If you have a normal bowel movement, in the sense that everyone gets up in the morning, brushes his teeth, and uses the toilet, so that's normal. So once in a while you have some uneven eating, then one can develop either a loose stomach or one could be constipated. But with a slight medicine or otherwise, one, you get over it within 2-3 days. But if it lingers on those habits, those changes for a longer period of time, one should not ignore it. If there is any sort of bleeding coming through the stools or through the urine, then it could be a sign of the, if it is coming through the urine, the blood, then it could be a sign of the bladder cancer. It can be. So I'm not saying, I'm not scaring anyone. We are only discussing the general symptoms. That doesn't mean that if you have that sort of symptom, you get scared that, oh, you are, maybe you are having cancer. But it is always right to get yourself tested and consult the doctor. The second one is a sore that doesn't heal. कोई भी तरह का जख्म हो जाए body में कहीं भी, so that must be considered that, okay, some sort of ointment, some sort of antibiotic will cure it also. But if it lingers on, then one must find out why it is so in any part of the body. Then unusual bleeding or discharge. Now, this I want to emphasize. There are a number of orifices in our body, right from 2 holes here on the ears, then nose, mouth, go down the body. In women, you have vagina. In men, you have penis. And in all of us, we have anus. So any type of unusual bleeding coming through these holes, a female having a menstrual cycle, everyone knows that a girl right from the age of, say, 13, 14 to about 50 will have a regular menstrual cycle every month. There is nothing unusual. But if there is a heavy bleeding in between the 2 menstrual cycles, or if it is a menopausal woman who has menopause after the age of 50, 55, and she has some sort of colored discharge or bleeding, that is not at all a normal sign at all. And it should not be ignored in any case. So, these must be kept into, or if one is, say, sort of vomiting, there's no reason that one should vomit one should vomit out blood. There has to be, may not be cancer, but it could be some ulceration inside. It could be a sign of some problem in the lungs. It could be tuberculosis. So all these factors, these are abnormal signs which are not normally happening. So that must be shown to examined by a doctor immediately. If it persists for, say, 3 to 4 weeks, then comes the thickening or lump, which is a very, very common sign in the case of particularly the breast cancer. The breast cancer normally is detected by feeling, with the hand, which you will learn tomorrow in breast cancer session, how to do the self-examination. Every female should be doing every month. So to look for that lump or the thickening of the skin, any part of the body, it's not necessarily that lump can come here on the throat also, on the neck also. It could come on the cheek. The tobacco consumers can have that lump coming on the either on the throat or the neck or the cheek. So these are any part of the body. If you find any unusual thickening of the skin, that should not be ignored at all. Then comes indigestion or difficulty in swallowing. Now, indigestion. You go for a party, you do you sometimes eat street food. There is always some indigestion may come in. Fried food zyada kha liya. But if this is happening too often or regularly, then it must not be ignored. Then if there is, while eating even the small bites, you find that there is some sort of choking sensation coming, that may have some issues with your food pipe, esophagus, these things should not be ignored. Then obvious change in wart or mole. This is something to do with our skin. Mole are those small til bolte hain, jisko kale wale til hote hain. If it comes on a female's face, it is considered to be a beauty spot, right? So, but if these moles or warts, छोटे warts भी जिसको मौके बोलते हैं, वो भी हमारी skin में बहुत होते हैं, and with age थोड़े बढ़ भी जाते हैं, but they are very small in size, normally like the head of a blunt head of a pencil. इतने छोटे होते हैं वो. But if the size grows to say more than 7 millimeters or so, if they have irregular boundary, they are not round, and they have edges protruding out, chubhne wale uske edges ho. So those are and these moles change color. Normally moles, normal moles hote hain, they are black in color. But if these moles change color from say blue to brown to some other combination of blue and brown and black and so on, so they must be shown to a dermatologist. So though any skin changes one finds, so that must be shown to a skin specialist or a dermatologist, because it may later on develop into skin cancer. Then we have nagging cough or hoarseness in voice or a low-grade fever also. They could be, serious signs of some disease. Nagging cough, normally क्या है कि आजकल वैसे काफी कफ होने लगी है, लोगों को थोड़ा चलता है कोरोना वायरस के बाद भी, there was cough coming for months together. But normally क्या है कि you take some antibiotics, you take some cough syrups, it should subside. But if you continue having nagging cough, then it could be due to the person, if particularly if one is a tobacco consumer, it should not be ignored. Could be a sign of something wrong with the lungs, or some sort of mouth and head cancer. Head and neck cancer. Then, and also there is hoarseness in the voice. So these are some of the abnormal signs in the body. I'll just take 5-7 minutes more. Next slide. Now, having known the risk factors, particularly the modifiable risk factors which are under your control, and also knowing the abnormalities, the abnormal, not so normal to the body, that means the symptoms, that then one having been aware of those, then what should we do? We must try to control those risk factors. We must try to lower those risk factors. So first of all is the healthy eating. Now, I can't overemphasize the advantage of having healthy eating, particularly a food rich in vegetables and fruits, rich in fiber, low in sugar and salt, particularly the trans fats or the saturated fats. Kabhi bhi, if the fried, the oil which has been heated for frying should not be used time and again for refrying. That is why it is risky, it is dangerous to have, going to a mithai wala, wayside mithai wala, having matti and samosa and cutlets, bread pakoras, because they never use, they never throw that old oil. They keep on pouring more and more of the fresh oil into it, and it becomes so thick like tar. So that is very unhealthy. So that in the house, once you fry something, immediately after that, you consume that small quantity of the oil into your cooking the vegetables and all, but it should not be reheated and turning into trans fats, which are very dangerous. Say, and the junk food, if you see on the right, do have cut back on burgers. So that that is only the heading, but it is it is true for all the types of junk food. Now, if you think of the junk food, it could be pizza, it could be these burgers, noodles, or the fried foods. Now, what cakes and pastries? Now, what happens in that? Why we say it is junk food, these fast foods, they are very low in fiber. बहुत ही महीन मैदा उसमें डाला जाता है. So, and they are they use a lot of fat, butter, and cheese, and things like that. Sauces, preservatives. Then we have the fried patty in that. So all these material, if you sort of make a paste of that maida and the sugar, salt, and the fat, which is, or the butter which is used in it, that you mix it up and put it in your sink hose, what happens? It will choke it. Usko clog kar dega. And then you will have to pour boiling hot water to clean it. Now, if that goes into, if we make it a habit of eating junk food, which the youngsters do, and I will urge that you stress upon these two, three things to your the students under your care, that if they are eating this type of food every day, then what will happen? All these this material, the low in fiber and high in fat, they will stick to the walls of the gut, and they will rot there, and the toxins will be formed inside. So that's why this is called the junk food or the unhealthy eating. Then we come to trim a few pounds. We talked about obesity, so we must lower that risk factor, overweight ka jo hai. And how can we do it? By two main methods. You all know it. What is it? One, that we must eat healthy and not have extra fat in our diet, and we must do physical activity. These are the two factors, main factors to avoid obesity. Then ditch the smoke. I cannot, you cannot undermine the damage done by tobacco. So tobacco must be avoided, and also you educate the youngsters not to ever experiment with tobacco in any form. You know, what happens is that you will learn it after 2 days, that not just the smoking tobacco, the more and more people, particularly in the lower strata of society, your guards and the rickshaw pullers and bus conductors and drivers, since they can't smoke in public, they resorted to chewing tobacco. So tobacco, even in chewing tobacco, you have lots of chemicals which are carcinogens. So in any case, that is the awareness you have to spread in the community. Then go easy on alcohol. I have already mentioned that alcohol and smoking together is a very, very deadly combination. Next slide, please. Get off the couch. That shows the physical activity. Physical inactivity is very, very damaging, not only for cancer disease, but for other NCDs, particularly cardiovascular and diabetes. So, and this physical activity is not, tell your students, the young ones who are into muscle building, they go to the gym and all. That is, they have to do the aerobic exercises which increases the heart rate, and the oxygenated blood then enters the body. So some sort of aerobic exercises daily for about half an hour. Even you at this age should be doing it every day without fail. So that is what type of exercises are those? Walking, jogging, run, swimming, dancing, cycling. These are some of the aerobic exercises one must do, any one of them, and walking is the best out of all. Then I'll come to the lower one first. Avoid toxic chemicals, though it may not be. This I'm talking of the occupational hazard, but it may not be totally under our control, but one should take some precautionary measures, as we have taken during coronavirus, some sort of mask to be wearing. So people working under these conditions, they should protect themselves. Then come to practice safer sex. We will talk about it in detail tomorrow. It's a full module on it. Therefore, here, or what do we mean by falling? Not only the STDs, the diseases which are due to sexual contact or the unsafe sex, but there are certain very serious, what I said about HPV virus, penile, anal, and cervical cancer. They are all due to the unsafe sex practices. And we have vaccinations for both these viruses we talked about, both hepatitis B also and human papilloma virus. We will be talking about human papilloma virus in big detail tomorrow. Know your family history. This is for the genetic cancers, which may be low, not very high percentage, but still one should know if your immediate relations are having, some cancers, and it is, then one must talk to the doctor about it. And one should also be little more careful in undergoing regular screening so that you protect yourself. Now, genetic cancers, zaruri nahi ki sare genetic cancers hi hon. One can, also there are certain cancers which are called familial cancers. They may be running in the family, but they may not be due to mutated genes. Like prostate cancer, not necessarily due to genes mutations. Your father has it, like heart disease hai. Agar aapke parents ko heart disease hai, one is likely to get the heart. One has to be conscious about their lifestyle to avoid those cardiovascular disease. So all these factors, they must be taken care of. Then the next one is very, very important, is stay up to date with screening. Now, cancer screening jo hai, why it is necessary? For that matter, dusri screening bhi aur bimariyon ki bhi, but we are talking about cancer today. So screening, you talk of the, let's take an example, analogy with the vehicle we use. Supposing you have a car and you send it to the servicing center after it covers certain mileage, or after say 4, 5, 6 months, regular uski servicing hoti hai, going to the, because you have spent lakhs of rupees on that, right? But our human machinery is so complicated that why not we get ourselves serviced, our own body? So that is that servicing of the body, what I mean by screening. Next slide, dikhana. Now, we at the Indian Cancer Society, we have our own detection center. which is on the left, you see, and we have all the doctors here, the 3 doctors and the paramedical staff regular. This is situated in Delhi, central part of Delhi, and address bhi yahan likha hoga. I mean, you are not in Delhi. Most of you may not be in Delhi. So therefore, and we have on the right, we have the Asha Kiran. This is a mobile van, which is equipped with different sort of equipments. We have an X-ray machine in this. We have a mammographic machine in this, which is a special X-ray machine for taking the X-rays of the female breasts. Then, so this is equipped with every sort of machine in this mobile van. It goes to, on weekends, we take it to remote areas of Delhi and NCR. We can't go to Ahmedabad and Rajasthan or whatever, but here, so community mein bhi jate hain. We go to corporate sector where their staff is being screened. We go to community, underprivileged logon ko free ho jati hai if we get a sponsor. So here, right from the blood profiles to X-rays to physical examination of ladies, breast examination and the pap smear test. We will be talking about these tests from tomorrow onwards. So these are this screening we do regularly. I mean, we do means we carry out regularly, but we make you aware that you at any age, even if you haven't done it earlier, one should get it done if the facilities are there in the hospitals as well, but it is worthwhile spending a part of your salary on your own health in undergoing regular screening. That's all for the day. Next one. Yeah. This is the address of our Cancer Detection Center, and our statement of intent is that conquest of cancer is by choice and not by chance. हम ये नहीं कहते भगवान की कृपा थी, भगवान का क्रोध था तो कैंसर हो गया. It's not that. So one has to manage one's own body. You are responsible for your own body. Thank you very much. And to the main screen, please. We are open to questions for 2 minutes, though I have, I mean, I don't know if Himani needs this time, but if there are certain specific questions, please, you can unmute rather than my sharing it on the chat box. You can unmute and ask me any question on that.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Yes, thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful lecture. Thank you so much. Ma'am, one small question from my side, that screening is safe for us?
Yes.
It is screening some radiations. We got exposure for some radiations.
I know. We'll talk about it also tomorrow. But since you have raised this question of somebody's or yours or whatever, the radiations we use is the X-ray machine for taking the chest X-ray, and for the mammographic machine where the breast X-ray is taken. You know, these are no doubt, we use the ionizing radiation here, but the exposure is of a fraction of a second. You know, आदमी को वहां खड़ा करते हैं, वो अंदर जाता है and just switches on and switches off. That's it. Not even, 10 minutes exposure. So I told you that ionization ka jo radiations ka khatra hai, that is only if the amount of the radiations is high and the time span of the exposure is long. Then only there is, otherwise there is absolutely no benefits are much. They outweigh the any danger, but danger hai bhi nahi hai koi bhi.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, it had been a long day. I pass on to the GAD team in case you have some issues with connections or whatever. I don't know. Find out. Himani, are you there?
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Hanji. Yes.
Hanji, ma'am, I am Dr. Narinderjeet. So I had to take a technical session just quickly to let the participants know about how to log into my e-class.
Okay, can I leave now? I'll meet you tomorrow, all of you. Stay healthy. Come fresh tomorrow at 3:30. We have three main big sessions of different cancers. Thank you. I'm leaving now. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So should I proceed? So quickly, dear participants, I'll let you know how to log in to my e-class for watching the recorded sessions of all these days of your FDP, and for uploading your assignment project, and for attempting quiz on this my e-class portal. So for successful completion of your FDP, you have to log in to e-class, right? So I'll quickly share my screen and let you give you a demo directly, right? So I hope my screen is visible. Just a minute. Is my screen visible? Just a minute. So I hope my screen is visible. Right. So this is the, I have opened my Google browser. So I hope it is visible to everyone. So all the participants must have received an email from my e-class academy with a link and a temporary password, right? So all the steps for login to my e-class that will be shared in a PDF form in your WhatsApp groups as well. So what you have to do is either directly on the link on your email IDs, which is given to all the participants on their emails, right? Or either just go to any browser like Google, Firefox, Internet Explorer, etc., and just type My E-Class Academy and click on the link of My Academy. So this is the My E-Class Academy link, and this is the same link provided to all the participants in their emails, right? So click on the link of My E-Class Academy. So this is the My E-Class platform, right? This is the page of My E-Class. So if you see on the upper right side, there is a login tab, right? So click on this login tab, right? So on this login tab, new login page will appear, right? And this is the username column. So you have to give your username, that is your email ID, which you have used listening to this FDP. So please use that email ID, type that email ID here, right? I hope I am audible to everyone, right? So this is the password column, right? And here you have to type the temporary password. So the temporary password link of My E-Class Academy is provided to all the participants in their email. So please check those emails, all the folders, including spam, right? So you have to type that temporary password here, putting that temporary password to get logged in to My E-Class. And then you have to click on login, this blue tab, right? So when you click on login, a new page on My E-Class will appear, and it is saying that you must change your password to proceed, right? So in the current, just scroll down your page a little bit, and in the current password column, you have to type the temporary password, the same temporary password which is provided in your emails, right? And in the new password column, you have to reset your password, and that password must contain at least 8 characters, at least 1 digit, at least 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase, and some non-alphanumeric characters, right? So I am resetting my password, keeping in mind all these things. And in new password again column, you have to type the password in the new password again column. And then click on save changes. And please, when you are resetting your password, just note it down somewhere on your diary or notepad, etc. Right? So that you won't forget in the future. So click on this save changes. So when you save changes, it is saying that password has been changed. So you have to click on this blue tab, that is continue. So when you click on continue, this My E-Class page will appear. And here in this, you have to click on these 9 dots. If you see on the upper left corner, there are 9 dots. That is category of courses. So you have to click on category of courses, then click on a drop down menu will appear, and you have to click on training and workshop. Click on training and workshops. Right? Okay. So when you click on training and workshops, so this page will appear. And finding your FDP, you have to scroll down your page a little bit, right? And this is the OFDP-149, that is cancer awareness, right? Where you all participants are enrolled as students. And in case if you are not able to see your folder of FDP, you have to do is, there is search courses column in this. So just type OFDP 149 and click on go. So My E-Class will choose that particular folder for you, right? And then just click on the link of this OFDP 149 for entering into this FDP, right? So when you click on this, so this new page will appear. And if this page appears, 149 cancer awareness with recorded sessions, feedback forms, project assignment and quiz, resubmission, etc., then that means you have successfully logged in to your OFDP 149 cancer awareness on My E-Class portal. So log into this page is very, very important, because here you will be able to see the recorded sessions, because only today FDP has started. So no recorded session has been uploaded yet. It will be uploaded by tomorrow morning or by the evening, right? And all the feedback forms for all the days will be available here. You have to upload your whatever project or assignment is given to you. So that is also uploaded here. So these are the login steps. And for some participants, if they are old users of My E-Class, they have already attended GAD-TLC's workshops or seminars, and if they logged in with their usernames and passwords previously, so need not have to change their passwords again and again. So please use that username and password, your previous names and password, for login to the My E-Class Academy. And for entering into this OFDP 149 cancer awareness, what you have to do is, I'll share my screen again. What you have to do is, there will be a enrollment key. If it asks for an enrollment key, this is the enrollment key for OFDP 1. In my case, it has not asked me to put an enrollment key. But if it is asking for an enrollment key, when you click on the OFDP-149 cancer awareness, then put this enrollment key, right? Shrutika or Gayatri, whoever is there, please put this enrollment key in the Zoom chat, right? So this is the enrollment key, 1492128, right? So when this enrollment key in the box here and click on enroll, then this page will appear, which I have already shown you. And then that means then you will be able to successfully log to your OFDP 149. And in case of any query, any technical issue regarding My E-Class or anything, just drop a message on this WhatsApp number of GAD-TLC's organizing team with your Sorry, I got disconnected, right? So in case of any query, any technical issues regarding my e-class, just drop a message on the GAD-TLC's WhatsApp number. So if you have any queries regarding login, I can take your queries. There are just 4 or 5 minutes. So if you want, right, if there is any query regarding my e-class, or if any participant has not received email from the My E-Class Academy with the link and temporary password, please just let me know. Sudhirji, no, by the end of this FTP, there will be some time limit. Before that date, you have to submit your photo ID and your project assignment and quiz, etc. Yes, Jacinta, sorry if I am pronouncing it wrong. अगर आपने previous username and password से login किया है and you are able to get logged into Fdp-149, that is absolutely fine. Dr. Manmohan ji, if you have not received any link, first of all, you just check your email ID with all the folders, including spam, right? And if in spam, you are not able to see your link, then please drop a message on the WhatsApp number of GAD-TLC, right? Shiv sir, temporary password is provided to all the participants in their email IDs with the link of My E-Class Academy and a temporary password, right? And if you have not received email and you are first time user of My E-Class Academy, then please drop a message with your email ID and your query to GAD-TLC's WhatsApp number. Okay, Dr. Parmeshwar RG. Okay, sir, just send your query on WhatsApp number of GAD-TLC. Our team will get back to you, right? So they will send an email with the link and temporary password. Shrutika, are you there with me, or Gayatri is there? Ma'am, I'm here, Shrutika. Okay, just note down the email IDs of these participants. Parmeshwar, sir, please, could you please send your email ID in Zoom chat or on the WhatsApp number which we have shared? Right? Okay. So our team members, please note down this email ID and send an email on this email. Yes, any other query, please? Yes, so in the Zoom chat, our team member has shared WhatsApp number of GAD-TLC. Okay, so there are more email IDs in the Zoom chat. Please note it down. Right? First of all, please, all participants, please check your email ID with the spam folder as well. All the folders, primary, and there are so many folders now in our emails. So just check all the folders, all your email. Dr. Sumita ji, no problem. You can use your previous email ID as username and your previous password for login to My E-Class. That's perfectly fine. Okay. GAD-TLC team members, please note down the email IDs from the Zoom chat. So many participants are sending their email IDs. Right? And in case you won't be able to get logged into My E-Class, so don't worry and don't panic. Just drop a message on the WhatsApp number of GAD-TLC. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Right? We'll take all the queries till the end of this FTP, till your assignments and projects are uploaded. Right? So don't worry. Yes, any other query, please? So in case of any query, just drop a message on this WhatsApp number of GAD-TLC. This is the number. So this is the WhatsApp number. Just drop your message with your email ID and OFDP-149, right? And our team will get back to you as soon as possible. 98104-54703. Right? And this PDF with all the steps of login to OFDP-149, this will also be shared in your WhatsApp groups, right? Dr. Shobha ji, if you have forgotten your password, don't worry about it. I'll just share and quickly let you know how to change your password. Just I'll just quickly log out from this. So if you have forgotten your password, just go to my e-class academy link, click on it. This is the first page. Click on login, right? So this is the username and password column. So this is the link, forgotten your username or password. Just click on this link, right? Just click on this link, right? And it will ask you to give your email address. Don't put your username, just search by email address, right? Put your email ID here and click on search, right? So my e-class academy will send a link on that particular email ID. So go to that email ID and you can click on the link which is sent by the my e-class academy, and you can change your password. I hope it is clear. Sayantani ji, if you have not received any email, so please drop a message on the WhatsApp number or just share your email ID, right? Shalini Malia ji, I have actually done all the steps of this. After changing the password, you can go to my e-class page, right? And then there are 9 dots on the upper left hand side, right? That is category of courses. I'll just quickly show. All right, just a minute. So I'll go back. So, right, so you have to put your temporary password, then you have to change your password. After changing your password, this type of page will appear. This type of page will appear. So you have to click on these 9 dots, category of courses, and from this drop down menu, click on training and workshops, right? And then scroll down a little bit, and there you will find your folder of OFDP-149. Click on this folder and you will be able to enter into this OFDP-149 cancer awareness. I hope it is clear, right? Praveen ji, you are supposed to upload your photo ID, your project, your assignment by the end of the FTP, and the organizing team will give some time for uploading all these things. So don't worry about it. Okay. So I think we have taken queries of participants. So in case if you still have any login issues or any queries, any technical issues regarding my e-class, so just drop a message on GAD-TLC's WhatsApp number, right? So, ma'am, I think we have taken the queries of all the participants. So, okay, dear participants, so hope you will be able to log into my e-class for your successful completion of your OFTP, right? So if you have any query, you can just drop a message on the GAD-TLC's WhatsApp number. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much, and all the best for your FTP. Thank you, everyone.